recorded live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 10th anniversary Jay and Jack podcast spectacular. 10 years ago today, we released our first show ever, and our lives changed forever. Welcome, everybody.
Should we only have one microphone?
Occasion.
Should we only have one microphone?
Why? We had two microphones when we recorded our first show.
No, I think we only had one microphone.
Pretty sure. No, we had two. I know for a fact we had two. I know we recorded in a small room at the Raleigh Iceplex.
Anyone who's been to the 25-hour, 30-hour, 10-hour podcast knows the room.
To kick it off music-wise, I have an instrumental version of the Lost Podcast theme that I think you might all love to hear for the 0 viewers that are on there right now. So here we go.
We have 0 viewers right now?
At least that's what the little tally tells me. This is great. This is perfect. All right, here we go.
Live from Raleigh, North Carolina.
It's the Lost Podcast with Jay and Jack, a podcast dedicated to Lost on ABC. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
I don't remember that part.
You don't realize this is longer because that was cuts.
Who was that?
I don't know. Somebody was calling. We did put a number out there, guys, but please wait to call until.
Well, how do we know if anybody's... Is anybody in the chat?
Well, there's 18 viewers right now. We went from 0 viewers to 18, which is exciting.
How do I see this?
You're looking at the same thing that I'm saying. You can see.
I have not. All I have is me saying jerk.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So welcome everybody that's out there in YouTube land right now watching this live. We are here for the 10th anniversary of the Lost Podcast with Jay and Jack, and really any Jay and Jack podcast for that matter. 10 years ago today, Jack and I kicked off and released our first podcast, which is crazy. It's crazy. It's been 10 years. I was 20 years old, a young lad, a young pup.
Now you're what,
actually,
like 40?
I'm 30 now. You were 42?
42.
And now you're 58, right? Is that how that works?
I'm 70. 70. I look 90.
Let's great.
Don't be kind here. We don't have to be kind here.
In honor, I did post a picture earlier, like maybe an hour or so ago, if you follow me on Instagram. But it is the notepad, the little piece of note paper. And it's funny enough, it's on a Viagra piece of paper.
It is funny.
Because do you remember, I think it was Debbie Rose. She would always bring in.
She had all that Viagra.
She used to bring us free. She worked for Pfizer. She used to bring us like free Pfizer stuff all the time. So I made a post, and this was when the season premiere of season 2 happened. Jack and I actually went through all of season 1 on DVD, really got into it, and really excited about this premiere season 2. And so I wrote down all these notes because you were at you had to work that night, so you couldn't see it live. So I watched it live, and I don't think you got home till much later. So that whole time, watched the episode, took notes, was reading all the forums at the time, and wrote them all down on this piece of paper. And then once you came home, you started going on the blogs, and then we started talking about it together. And that's when the penny clicked.
Penny clicked for you.
This is what we should podcast about. Doing this conversation that we're having right now at 2 a.m., whatever it was.
Which was gold. It was conversation gold.
It was podcasting gold. And now 10 years later, here we are, and we're still podcasting. People ask us all the time and they go, "Oh, you still do a podcast?" We do, and actually for our 10th anniversary, because for the past 5 years we went to like an exclusive subscription feed, which was great, kept the things running, but unfortunately it doesn't leave you as open to everybody. So for the 10th anniversary, we decided to put all of our podcasts out there for free for everybody. What is going on over there?
No idea.
Colin has a thing going on, but anyway, but we're giving it for free for everybody. So if you go on iTunes right now, the podcasts are already popping up there now. We have a Survivor podcast up there. We have a catch-all feed with everything. All of our podcasts called Jay and Jack, the whole enchilada. But everything will have its own individual feed. Ramblecast will have its own feed. The Married Man Show. The Lost Podcast with Jay and Jack. So if you haven't listened to our podcast in a while, this is a chance to check back in and do that. So you can search Jay and Jack on iTunes. Things will pop up. Survivor with Jay and Jack, the whole enchilada, and start subscribing. And to kind of go ahead, Cock.
Did you lose my? Did you see me anymore?
No, I lost your video. What did you do?
My camera's off, so
I don't know what you did. And now you're gone. Jack left. So I'll keep talking while he hopefully gets back to the chat. But you can go to, and the question is now, so how are we going to keep everything running? Well, now we are listener supported. We were listener supported before with the subscription base, but it's more kind of open to anybody that wants to contribute whatever you can contribute. And that's over at Patreon, which is kind of like a Kickstarter for content producers. If you go to patreon.com/Jay and Jack, you can become a patron for the show and give money to the show. And that's what kind of keeps everything running. We've already hit our first goal. Like we just started today. We've already hit the first goal. We kind of open up things up a month early, which is great. Our first goal is to get $500 a month. And we already hit that goal with having over 63 patrons join on. And the first goal is $500. We went past that. And that means at $500, we're going to release the long lost Serenity podcast.
Serenity now,
because we did a Firefly podcast and we never did the Serenity to close it out. So that is what we'll do. At $1,000, we'll do a live Married Man show. Dale live is the best thing you can ever experience. And then at $2,000, the one I really hope we'll get to.
Is it the best thing they've ever experienced?
At $2,000, we will finally release Jack's Survivor audition tape where he is driving the Zamboni naked. It's
oh wait, I don't do that yet, do I?
A legendary thing. So yeah, you can go do that, and that's what we're doing, and that's how we're getting back in the game. So also, Jack, I like the attire you're wearing right now.
Thank you.
What do you got there?
I got the Jay and Jack original.
Yeah, so we had a lot of shirts during our heyday, and they were very nice, made by Sam and Nate. So Jack wanted to put one together, and that was a prototype that he had, and it looked horrible. So
wasn't me.
It
wasn't me. I did not design this. It was designed by someone else.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going to offend people unless I can do it to their face. I have my Hydra hat too.
So that was at the time was the underwater hatch, but ended up not being the underwater hatch.
Right.
Or something else. And I'm wearing our first official Jay and Jack t-shirt made by Sam and Nate. It's a medium, so it's a little bit tighter.
This is authentic hat.
First word, like
this is a fan made hat.
It's from the set, man. It's from the
set. But that's all I'm saying.
It's got the sand of last. So we really, this isn't just about us. It's about the community as well, because that's what made this podcast successful, fantastic, a lot of fun. And the first person we wanted to bring on was Ralph from the Dharmalars.
Hey, Ralphie.
He's gotta go to work, so he's got about like 20 minutes he can spend with us. So let's check in.
Wait, I'm supposed to believe he's working?
Yeah, he's working.
All right, okay.
He's got a steady job now.
He's always at the Angels games.
Well, he probably can, change up his schedule and whatnot.
We should
so giving Ralph a call.
He should be selling peanuts at the Angel game.
Why?
From his seat.
That's true. Ralph, how's it going?
It's going well. How do I sound?
You sound good. You sound great.
Can't hear him.
Awesome. That's the iPhone 6.
You sound velvety.
Can't hear him.
How come you can't hear him?
I can't hear you now. I can't hear anybody. I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on, don't do that for real. We're trying out new systems here tonight, Tony.
I like to see that panic in your face. Oh, I can't figure it out.
Ralph,
What you
how's it
been
going?
I'm doing all right. I'm sitting in my car once again.
Is that how you
This
just
is how my
podcast?
park,
Is
though.
that how you podcast now? Because every time we talk to you, you're in your car.
Disneyland cast member lot. Just turned on the Angel game and waiting to start work. I start work at 6 o'clock California time.
I just realized something that I don't think Jack can hear Ralph. Only I can hear Ralph.
I can hear him.
You can hear him?
I can hear him. Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, but no, Ralph can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear Jack. I think it's kind of ideal.
Hey, who did the Angels play in the playoffs?
He just asked who did the Angels. This is going to get bad. Like I didn't realize that the Skype is picking up the internal microphone. It's not picking up the other microphone. So Ralph can hear me, but he can't hear Jack.
And I still can't see anybody in the chat.
That's fine. Don't worry about the chat. But Ralph, are you sitting in the Disneyland parking lot right now? Is that what's going on?
I'm in a cast member lot, which is off property, about a half a mile away from the park.
Is that the future Disneyland parking lot? Maybe?
Star Wars, maybe.
I'm sorry, not Disneyland. It's Star Wars is what I meant to say. Star Wars.
Yes, one of us is paying attention. He can't
This
hear
is on the other side.
Oh, it's on the other side.
This is on,
so are you
on the
confirming
backside.
that's going to be the Star Wars thing?
I have no idea where it's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea. We've been trying to figure it out. Some people are saying kind of over behind the Rivers of America, there's a lot of unused area.
Mm-hmm.
Back there used to be a old attraction called the Rainbow Caverns mining car train or something.
Yeah. I thought the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad replaced that. Or I guess it's in a different place then?
It's in a different place, yeah. So you can actually see some of the old track of that attraction while you're on the Mark Twain.
Gotcha.
Like you'll see like a railroad tracks, and then they put like some animatronic eagles and deers and stuff over there.
Well, yeah, wasn't there also a place like where the track hangs out like over an opening and there's like fake fish?
Yeah,
the lagoon kind of thing.
That's the location that I've heard speculated, but I'm not exactly sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, it's pretty exciting. Like the thing that everyone's been saying is like they have to do a cantina, and that's all I want. If I can go into a Star Wars cantina with the music playing,
yeah,
and get costume cast members in alien outfits, that would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool. But would it be like wouldn't that be like the worst job to have there though? Because it'd just be that music playing over and over and over again.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. They'd probably have to come up with more, like more music in the same style.
It's Disney,
other than just those two songs that were played at the cantina.
Yeah,
and then much like the actual cantina in the movie, when they start playing one of those two songs, the crowd kind of cheers and gets into it because it's like a favorite. Because I bet like people would be sitting around waiting for those tunes to show up in real life. Yeah.
Just coming to see you.
So
go ahead. What's going on with you guys? It's just the party's just started.
Yes, it did. Just started.
What do you guys have planned?
I mean, really, just kind of hanging out. It's a party, you know. It's kind of let's mingle. Let's have some fun.
Shooting the breeze. Umbrella drinks.
Yeah, reminisce about the old times 10 years ago, a decade ago. I brought for me on my end. I brought what's left of my Macallan 15-year aged Scotch whiskey.
Is it 15 or is it 25 now?
Well, no, it wasn't. I didn't buy it when Ross premiered. I should have gotten a 10-year. That would have been better, but I didn't think that through. So, so we got that. At least for me, I thought Macallan was appropriate because I think McCutcheon was based off of Macallan. So,
I got Aquafina, blue raspberry Hawaiian punch.
Jack has blue raspberry Hawaiian punch water. He's got his Charlie water.
Yeah, Charlie. Hey, Can't forget the Charlie water.
But is it crazy to think, Ralph, that really 10 years ago, this all started a decade ago?
Yeah, it's weird. I started listening to you guys right after I quit Disneyland.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I started writing, and I really had nothing better to do than to listen to music. And then I found out about podcasts. It's something I had heard about, and I really didn't understand what it was. But I checked iTunes. I figured I want to see what this podcast thing is, and I was trying to think of things like what I'm interested in. And at the time, it was it was right after, I believe, after the finale of Lost, and we're getting into season 2. And so I'm like, all right, I like Lost. And so I typed in Lost, and the first thing that came up was The Transmission. And I listened to that, and I thought it was like sanctioned by ABC. I didn't know that Ryan and Jen were just, because they said like their thing would say from the island or from Hawaii or
Yep.
it would say something. This is a transmission and whatever. And they would do a quick recap of the episode that was just on, and then go into the other stuff. And they would believe they took calls.
Wait a minute. They did a
Maybe they have
recap.
some sort of thing where people could send audio files or
of the
something.
show I just watched.
But I'm like, oh, this is cool. So it's just like a radio show, but just based on what I'm searching for.
Yeah.
So I look up stuff like Green Lantern or who knows, whatever else I was looking up at the time. And
Heroes.
then I liked the Lost one, and then the Transmission. And I was like, well, it dawned on me that it wasn't sanctioned by ABC and that anyone could do it. And so I looked for more, and I'm not even kidding you. I only really found 3 of them. And those were pretty much the only ones I listened to. I never really went past the 3, and that was you guys were next. And then I think I heard you guys talk about Scott and Steve on your show, and then I got into Craig and Dylan's podcast.
Yep.
And that was it. I was like, okay, 3's enough. I get specific information from Ryan and Jen, specific information from you guys, and then Craig and Dylan. I got there. So it was a nice mix. I didn't really need any more than that.
Yeah.
And so yours was the second podcast I ever listened to after the Transmission, which was kind of nice. Nothing against Ryan and Jen, but yours was a little more of a looser format.
Well, I always felt like back then, I felt like Ryan and Jen were the pros. They
like their comments on Lost were precise,
yes,
well executed, well thought out,
Yep.
and very okay, cool. That's why I probably thought it was sanctioned by ABC.
Oh yeah.
Because it was so like laser perfect.
Oh yeah, it was, and the sound was really good. I thought their voices were fantastic.
Mhm.
And yeah, you could tell it was like a polished show. And then Scott and Steve was like a polished, hilarious show. Like it was so funny.
there was not cheesy, but morning radio show.
Yes.
Fun and kind of off the wall and way relaxed.
Yep.
Really kind of unfiltered, kind of free form.
Yeah, and it was
you guys were somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, we were just
you had your segments, but you weren't as free form.
But I felt like I was like, we're just kind of like the crappy in between. Like we're not hilarious and we're not professional. We're kind of the in between.
We're passionate.
Yeah, but you guys kind of got the best of both parts. So you were a nice bridge between those two. And I think I would listen to you guys in that order. I'll listen to Transmission, you guys, then Scott and Steve.
Yep.
But I think that's because they always got their show up late Friday night.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, either Friday and sometimes it'd be Saturday. I would listen to their show on Saturday. That was like my Saturday show. My Saturday morning cartoons. But there's just so many. There's the most moments I think I remember are the Scott and Steve just their banter between each other. The whole him turning the mic off is still on my I remember just cracking up laughing.
Yeah. I think with you guys, and I've told this before, but I'll say it again, is I really got into you guys, and I had the iPod Photo, and you guys didn't.
Yes, I was going to reference that. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have you had a logo in iTunes, I think.
Yep.
But it wouldn't show up on my iPhone photo, and so I just created my own logo
Mm-hmm.
and just stuck it on there in my iTunes, and then I sent that off to you guys, and then you started using that when you went over to the AAC feed.
Yep.
And that kind of got me when I sent you emails and you sent me emails back. That's when I really realized how podcasting was a little more personal than other medium.
Yes.
Like you can like even radio, you can probably call into a radio show, but there's not much more interaction to that. And so
do you still have the logo? I'm trying to find it right now to show it to everybody. Because I can show it on the YouTube.
I have no idea.
Colleen's
It's probably
gonna
easier to
research, see if you
just
can
do
find
a Google search.
the original, like the one Ralph made.
It was brown. It was taken from a direct screenshot of the Dharma
Yeah, he took
logo.
he took a screen cap of like the Dharma Initiative logo, and then you put the iPod in it, and that's what became our podcast.
Yeah, you guys did a more polished version.
Eventually we did a more polished version, and now we're going to our new version. I'll open it up here just to show everybody. So Jacob Parr, who does a lot of our art, did a whole new series of art for us. And hold on, Colleen's sending it right now, so I can put it up for everybody watching at home.
Yeah, but that kind of started me kind of on an interesting path, because once I learned about how podcasting could be done by anybody, and I started kind of getting more into graphic design stuff, it's essentially led me all the way to where I am now with like the VHS stuff and the and all right podcast. Like I learned a lot of how you can self-market anything you want. Like anyone could podcast about anything, and you'll find like-minded people that are interested in the same stuff. And it's been kind of interesting. Like I've taken kind of everything I learned over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And from that logo that I did for you guys all the way until now, especially with the VHS stuff, like I think it crossed all like my social networking for the VHS dude stuff. I have something like 47,000 followers across the board. And so it's like weird, like you can like it opened my eyes. Podcasting like opened my eyes to what you can get done for free.
Yes.
Like everything I do, I don't spend a dime on.
Yep.
And now I'm getting into like shirt creations and stuff, and you can like so with just like a little bit of drive, you can really like start a whole thing, and people will find you.
For those listening right now, this is Ralph, a famous Lost podcaster from the Dharma Lars. What? It was a known podcast. But he is now. You do run VHS Dude, which is on Instagram, but really where the main draw is on Vine. It came from the VCR.
On
really
Vine, I just hit the Vine. I just hit 37,000 followers this week.
Wow, great!
And then I just hit 6,000 followers on Instagram, which Instagram's a tough social media to like get people to find, because you can't really do you can't do like regrams unless you have like a third party app.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, I mean, it's like all of this stuff that I've been doing is all attributed to you guys, because of you guys like just emailing me back. Like when I sent you the logo, it was like, hey, check this out. I wasn't trying to get you to change your logo or anything, but the fact that you just responded back showed me that like the internet could really, bring people closer and help people like come together.
Yeah.
Like it was really cool how it kind of makes the world a little bit of a smaller place, especially for people who are into the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a huge deal when you guys emailed me back.
Oh, that's very. I mean,
yeah, it was cool.
but I think you brought up the greatest point is that it brings so many people together. For Jack and I, it's like, with you, Ralph. We've had a lifelong friend now. Like we've known each other for,
you were at Jay's wedding.
You're at my wedding. So it's like,
It almost feels like I've known you. You said 10 years, and I'm like, only 10 years,
right?
Because I feel like I've known you guys like my whole life.
Right.
Like it does seem long.
Like
I know you can't hear me.
It's only been 10 years, but now that you bring it up, yeah, it's right after I quit Disneyland, and that was 10 years ago.
And now you're back at Disneyland now, which is really cool.
Yeah. So if you guys want to get signed in.
All right.
That's the first time I met you in person.
That's right.
I was waiting to sign you guys in.
That's right.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You and producer Ryan got us.
Yep.
Got us in.
Producer Ryan laughed the whole time.
He wasn't even producer Ryan yet.
That was
still like a year off.
That was pre-producer Ryan.
Yeah.
Will there ever be, because you did a Dharmalars reunion for the charity, our Autism Speaks podcast-a-thon. Will the Dharmalars ever come back?
I can't say like it will never, because never is a long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love that show.
Will there be a Hell Freezes Over tour for you guys?
If it does happen, it'll be out of nowhere, and it'll be on the exact same feed. So I'm not saying to keep refreshing, but who knows? Maybe in 10 years or
when we do our
even
20th
longer.
anniversary show.
Yeah, we'll just pop up. So I'm not saying it'll happen. I don't know if it will happen, but
still one of the biggest things we've raised.
If something were to happen, that would, I could see that being the first thing that we would do. But yeah, we'll see.
Or even for all right, let's do a podcast. Bring producer Ryan back just to laugh in the background, because I think that's what made the show.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, I could do that. Well, I gotta get going to work.
All right,
but I didn't want to miss this for anything, so I'm glad to be a part of it, even though it was only for a little bit. And I'm sorry I can't hear Jack, but like I said, this is kind of ideal right now.
And all those nice things I've been saying about him too.
Yeah, Jack says he's been saying really nice things about you, if you believe.
Oh, I'm sure that I fired Ben, and I'm afraid of the worms.
I never said. I didn't say either. I didn't say either one of those things.
It's nice that after 10 years you kind of know that Jack just has the same shtick. He just repeats it over and over and over.
Come on!
Yeah.
My ear.
All right.
Oh man! All right. Well,
I do feel bad for Ben that was fired.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Always fun to have you on, and we'll have to set up time to actually do another Lost podcast to get together, because it's just always fun to hang out.
Yeah, we're way behind.
Most definitely.
All right. Have a good one, my friend. We'll talk to you.
All right.
Later.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Ralph, for stopping by on our 10th anniversary podcast. We now have 47 viewers out there in the internet land. Thank you for stopping by.
I can't see any of them.
You don't see all 40. I'm just saying I have a little counter here in the bottom.
I don't have it. I don't even.
You don't have a counter in your browser thing? You don't see that?
No.
Maybe since I'm controlling everything.
So I don't even have the chat anymore.
Our executive administrator over at Jane Jack Productions, Colleen Glatfelter, is looking for the original artwork, but we can't really find it that Ralph did. But she did find the first artwork that we ever had, the one that Ralph saw, but he wanted to make a new one. So I'll share that with everybody now. Is this one, which was just basically my horrible Photoshop skills. And just took the logo from the first season DVD box or whatever, and I put the Lost Podcast with Jane Jack. And this is the 1 year anniversary version that we did.
9 years later.
9 years later, and
look at us now.
Which is pretty cool. And then we have new artwork for our new shows that we're doing, since for our 10th anniversary. We have unleashed all of our shows out there for everyone. You can subscribe right now on iTunes. And I'll put that up there for you right now, so you can see our new logos made by Jacob Parr, who's a fantastic artiste. So I'll share that with everybody out there. Let's pick that up. So this is the new Lost Podcast logo. So that is what you will see on iTunes, which is pretty awesome since we've had the same logo up there for a long time. And then let's check out some of the other logos here. Let's go up. So we have the Amazing Race with Jack and Cindy. That's right. Your wife, my mother.
She said
Has joined the
today
podcasting fold.
She enjoys doing this one more than with me than Downton Abbey because the stuff she doesn't like the fact that I get off topic and kind of goof around on Downton Abbey. But this one she says fit. She says your stupid things you say fit for The Amazing Race.
Nice.
Exactly what she said. I said, wow, that's such high praise.
Let's go to the next artwork we have here. The Flash with Jack and Colleen, which should be fun. And then we've got
Wow,
the
you kind of just brushed over
Leftovers.
that one real quick.
Colleen doesn't want to talk about it. She doesn't like talking about these things. And then a big one that's coming up here is season 2
Ooh.
of The Leftovers, which is an HBO show.
F you, Karen.
F you, Lori.
Lori.
It's right. F
Karen.
you, Lori. I
Well,
almost
Karen-
dropped the F bomb, but I'm trying to keep this, J.
Karen, I'm thinking good
Nobody's
fella.
going to jail.
No one's
Karen.
going to jail, Karen. And that's not what he really says, but that's what everybody says.
So we have The Leftovers with Jay and Jack, season 2 of The Leftovers with Jay and Jack. So you can subscribe that on iTunes. That's always been free, but
Hey,
we're coming
why
back
don't you
for
show the
season
box
2.
of stuff we got from The
Yes,
Leftovers?
yes. So why don't I'll stop screen sharing for a second, and we'll go back to the video here. So HBO did a fantastic job last season.
We got lots of
social
goodies.
media stuff. And just ways to kind of promote the show, talk about things that are coming up in the episode, and they've started again this year, so they sent this kind of wooden box.
I like the
And,
box.
It has a letter here from HBO The Leftovers. So let's read it out here. Dear Jay and Jack, we're so happy you enjoyed the first season of #The Leftovers. And this Sunday, October 4th, we're excited for its return to HBO. Season 2 finds the Garvey family leaving Mapleton in search of a miracle. And there's a good chance they'll find it. While 2% of the world's population vanished on the day of the sun departure, only one town went unaffected, Hardin, Texas. Or Jardin, Texas. Maybe a soft J. Now the Berg's been reserved.
A soft J?
Soft J. It's like
Okay, all right.
Spanish
Okay.
J.
Wrong podcast. Sorry.
As Miracle National Park, and visitors are journeying far and wide to experience it for themselves. So many people are traveling to Miracle National Park. However, they're greeted with massive overcrowding and long wait times. With that in mind, we wanted to share a few keepsakes that will allow you to enjoy Hardin at Miracle National Park, all while skipping the line. The box you receive contains everything you'll need to brag about your park experience, from around-town snapshots to flea market souvenirs, without going through all the trouble of experiencing it. Tune in this Sunday and let us know if you're getting a close look at Miracle National Park you still want to visit. We'd be curious to see what you think. Your friends at The Leftovers, at Leftovers HBO.
Can I give my first crackpot theory of the Leftovers season 2?
Hashtag. I guess, but don't you want to say it for the show, because we got a show
No,
on Monday.
It's a pre.
A pre-crackpot theory. Okay.
I'm saying this town is lying. They did lose. They probably lost somebody, and they're
Okay.
just lying about it.
Have you
It's
read
a
any of the
scam.
articles? Like, it's interesting.
Nope.
People
Nope.
are a lot talking about it.
Nope.
So we got this shirt.
I'm going in. With just
that says "Welcome, Miracle, Texas. 0 departures."
so I went there and counted. There are only 9,258.
Very
So there were 3 missing. So that's why I say they're lying.
We got a Miracle, Texas. Hold on, let me focus here. And then we got some pictures from the set. And then we've got this brochure for Miracle, which is kind of cool. And then we have real, true blue, Hardin spring water, which is
Yep.
what I guess maybe contributed to
Well,
no
look how,
departures there. Who
look how clear it is. If that would have been San Diego water, it'd be like brown and it'd be
The clean
stuff
water.
floating in it.
The clean water. So we're very excited to do the second season of The Leftovers
really
with
can't
Jay and
wait.
Jack, following the second season of The Leftovers on HBO. People criticized the first season because it was kind of depressing.
It
And
was
even-
depressing.
Even Lindelof admitted it was depressing, but it was still a good show. I thought, like, even towards the end, it got really good.
Once you get to that 3rd episode, I thought that was a fantastic episode, and I think it really started. It got its legs starting from there.
Yeah.
I think they thinned out the herd this year. Maybe got rid of some characters, add some new ones, maybe.
No, I agree completely. So Leftovers will start this next week. So subscribe over on iTunes. Next up, we did the Lost Podcast logos. We also have an alternate Lost Podcast logo because, baseball teams, all the teams have alternate logos. So we felt, we should have an alternate too.
Exactly.
The Married Man Show with Jack and Dale. It's been around for a while. It's been on an exclusive feed, and now it's free for everybody.
Hey, I just noticed that's a ring. That's a ring up there.
Yeah. So there are 2 rings.
I just noticed that. I apologize, Jacob. It's outstanding.
Yeah, it's a very cool logo and it's in our theme. So if you notice, there's this little J&J circle in the corner. It's kind of our icon, and I'll go into a little more detail about that in a second. And
when you're watching TV and you see the NBC or CBS there.
Exactly. This is probably my favorite, the new redesigned Ramblecast logo. The Ramblecast logo largely went unchanged for almost 10 years. We've been doing the Ramblecast for a long time, save for when we did change it to the Jay and Jack show for a little bit. But Jay and Jack's Ramblecast has that perfect light blue, and very excited for the Ramblecast to be out there. So if you love our ramblings about movies, TV, game, music, sports, and anything
else you want to talk about,
you can check out that now and subscribe on iTunes. And then we got Sports Talk with 3 Stupid Guys, which is aired live. It's our only live show, exclusively live show, which does get posted like this one on the YouTube streaming.
On the YouTube.
I'm not on this show, so I can't vouch for how bad it is.
You've been on it every week so far.
Well, I'm producing. It doesn't really count, so.
Okay.
So the production's really good.
Except for last week when it shut off for a half hour.
The internet wasn't working too well. And then Survivor with Jay, Jack, and Colleen, which is, we were in a couple episodes of the new season of Survivor. It's a fun show to talk about. We're not Survivor experts, but we have fun talking about it. So definitely check that out.
I wish I would have found out some information I found out today before we recorded. But
oh, is there some inside scoop?
Just something that happened after the vote.
Oh, okay.
But I don't want to spoil people. But it wasn't shown. But anyway.
And then kind of an offshoot of Sports Talk with 3 Stupid Guys is The Walking Dead with 3 Stupid Guys. I don't think I've ever listened to this podcast, so I can't vouch for how good it is or bad it is.
But you could probably just lie and say, hey, it's probably one of the better podcasts about The Walking Dead I've ever heard.
Is there
try that again.
Okay. It's what did you say it was?
It's like one of the more popular. It's one of the best podcasts about dedicated to The Walking Dead I've ever heard.
Perfect. You said it better than I could.
But now that sounds like I'm bragging. If you could have said it, it would have sounded better.
And then kind of a feed to bring it all together. If you like all of the stuff that we put out there, we have Jay and Jack, the whole enchilada, which is a fun name that I think is in the spirit of what we do. And we have the JJ We logo, which I think is pretty cool.
I like it.
So that's what we're doing. That's what's coming up for this season of all of our podcasts. And actually, just one last thing here, and I'll kind of put it on and then we'll move on from like the logo. I like logos, so I'm sorry if you hate it. I apologize.
Who doesn't like a good logo?
I know, right? Logos are awesome. So I'm going to share this right now. It's kind of showing you the theme behind all the logos and the thought that went into putting the logos out there. So you can kind of see, so it's 2 J's, and then there's like a plus symbol in between that is for the Jay and Jack. And then you have the little comment boxes because it's a podcast and we're talking. So that's the rationale there. So you have the Jay, Jack, the and then 2 speech bubbles because we podcast. And then we have official colors for all of our stuff. So we have Smoke Monster Gray, Dharma Bus Blue, Fish Biscuit Red, and Mr. Clux Gold, calling back to our lost roots, which is a lot of fun. But yeah,
can't forget the lost roots.
That's what's new and happening in the world. And if I think we might have Jacob on if he does want to come on, but we'll see how that goes. What's great though is that Jacob is actually has a Kickstarter out there right now. Him and his friend started a game called Master Thief, which you can check out. It's actually already funded on Kickstarter, which is awesome.
The way you had it, it was a glare was coming off it.
Sorry.
There.
Is that
Perfect
shot?
right there.
No, there.
Oh, no. You had it.
Yeah, I think
Better there.
here, right here,
Right
up here.
turn it to. Forget it. I can't. There. Forget it. Yep.
Right here. Right here. But it's pretty cool. So maybe we can have him on and he can talk about it a little bit. Did you give him the number so they can call him? Perfect. So we'll have Jacob talk about it. But basically, it's kind of it's a game that's starting out, and it kind of lets you be a master thief that steals art from different museums. And it's play tested in certain cities, and it's already funded on Kickstarter, so it's coming out to museum near you, which is pretty cool.
Jacob's gonna be rich here soon.
He is. So it's good to have rich friends, and I think this is him right now. Jacob?
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, Jacob, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. I just unveiled your new artwork for all of our podcasts to the people at home, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was watching. I think I was a little bit behind. I think I ended on Walking Dead just before I called in.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yes.
The greatest podcast Jay has ever heard.
And Jack's talking, but he's actually not patched into the Skype thing, so we'll have to figure that part out. We just got this working right before we went on the air, so still some kinks.
I mean, do we really need him to be talking? I mean, I think we got this.
I think that's the second time I've heard that today.
It's been said. Ralph said the same thing.
I can leave.
I know.
But so I just started talking about your new game, Master Thief, from Spar Games, which got fully funded on Kickstarter. It took like 5 days.
Woo-hoo!
That was insane.
Yeah. We were also thinking it was insane.
But that's great, though. I mean, in terms of the way Kickstarter goes, I mean, now I'm not as into the lingo of all the Kickstarter stuff, but does that mean do they feature you at that point if you get picked up that quick? Because that can't be the norm.
Did you say that? Do they feature us? Is that what you said?
Yeah, because I would think somebody gets funded that quickly. I feel like that would be, hey, this is something that people are really into.
What we did is we got a staff pick from the Kickstarter staff, which was great. It gave us a big boost, and that happened just as we met our funding. And we raised it in 5 days. And yeah, it's insane. But mainly right now we're getting a lot of blogs coming in saying hey, we want to share, we want to post. Here's a couple questions you can answer. So which is even more important. That's getting a more spread out, diverse kind of publicity, I would say.
Yeah, that's awesome. And now that you're past your funding, are you going to start adding some of those people do? They add extra stuff levels that people can do, or?
Oh yeah. Well, what we're doing is normally with some Kickstarters, people will just offer an add-on that you can put a little more money in and you get something extra. But we're actually going the route of stretch goals, where if we reach let's say 30K, 40K, 50K, which even just saying those numbers so casually is really weird to me.
5 million.
10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, no biggie.
Yeah, chunk change. If we reach those, basically we unveil a special thing that we're adding to the games that have already been backed. So everyone's going to get it. You don't have to put in more money. You're just automatically going to get it.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, we're actually just about to put it up. I think either tomorrow or maybe even later tonight. But we have an artist friend here in Toledo who does oil paintings, and if we reach a certain goal, he's going to hand paint all the cards, and we're going to use his artwork on the official game that gets printed, giving it an authentic hand touch. It's going to look cool, I think.
That's really neat. I mean, do you want to, for the people listening at home or watching right now, do you want to kind of give a breakdown of what Master Thief is?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Master Thief is a game where all the players, it's 3 to 6 players, and it's only in cards too. There's no board. It's just you carry it in your pocket, you pull it out, you have cards, and everyone assumes the mantle of a bandit in a art museum.
Mm-hmm.
And your goal is to steal like all the most valuable works of artwork, and ranging from like the Mona Lisa, Starry Night, to some more generic things like gold doubloons and real fun, exciting things that you would find at a museum. You have to steal it, and you have to also stop your opponents from stealing it from you and the museum, and get out without getting caught. So if you imagine like Ocean's 11 meets Pink Panther, like
Yeah.
kind of sleek heist, but like fun and cartoonish in the same way.
I'm showing some of the cards right now on the video.
Nice.
For the people watching at home. And actually, what's cool about doing these shows live on YouTube is you can go back and watch them after the fact. So they're always there. It's kind of neat. If you're listening to the podcast and you want to be able to go back,
The magic of the internet.
But it's what I like. It's just it's a really good looking game too. Like just in terms of the design and look of it. I don't
Thank
have
you.
too many friends, so I haven't gotten a chance to kind of get a game together yet. But in terms of handling the cards and having them here and kind of looking everything over. It's a really good looking game.
Thank you. That's a 3-year long process. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's done and finished, and we can kind of put a little end stamp on that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so what's next? What's next for Spar Games? Is it your own Monopoly game, or like what's next on the docket?
Well,
we're just gonna enjoy the moment right now for getting this launched.
There's no enjoyment. It's now that we actually have the funding, we realize we actually have to make games. Like it's which is to be honest, that's always been like a little side dream of ours. It's me and my best friend Jake. Also Jacob. Just to make it easy for everyone, we decided we're both just going to be Jacob.
Nice.
And it's always kind of been our dream to make games because we found ourselves pretty good at like the functions.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're funded, we actually have to commit to actually being game designers, which we love the idea. And we have a game lined up next, probably, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 months down the line, called tentatively right now it's called Carney, where everyone gets to be a carnival worker.
Wow.
And the fortune teller in the carnival is murdered.
Ooh.
And she left tarot cards with clues as to who her murderer was. And it's at the core of it, it's a probability matrix. It's like Guess Who and Clue in the same bundle, but it's we're gonna have our own little fun twist on it. So we have plans.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
We have to now.
He could be the guy with the really big head.
Or 20-year-olds anymore,
Jack says I could be the guy with the really big head, which will.
The side attraction. Mommy, it scared me.
But that's really cool. I mean, honestly, like, because I know, because I mean, you've been helping us do artwork now for a while. So I know you've been working on this card game for a while. You've been talking about it for a while. And,
yeah,
it's so cool that it's like here, and I can hold it in my hand, and it's funded on Kickstarter, and it's like real now. It's like it's so real. And there's so many people that have like ideas and want to come up with something, and they want to create. And breaking that kind of wall of creating something, but actually having something that, is a product that's out there. You've broken that wall, and kudos and congrats to that. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. 'Cause I think everybody at home has had that thing like, oh, what if I did this? I could make a toy. I could make this. Just there's so many things.
Yeah.
But you've actually made it. That's awesome.
It's honestly, that kind of credit goes to my friend and business partner on this. He pushed me to get this idea going, because otherwise it would have just been sitting on my computer and still would be to this day. That's why we needed both of us to get it going. But
much like Jack and I, there would be no podcast without either of us.
Right, exactly.
I have an annoying voice and I'm not very entertaining.
Well, to be fair, I never would have podcast if you didn't make me podcast.
But I was the one that was egging on Jack to do the podcast, so it worked out. It worked out well. for both sides.
Absolutely.
But do you want to, for the people at home, do you want to kind of give them a link and where to go, and if they're listening to this now and they haven't heard about it, where they can sign up and get their own set of the card game Master Thief?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website, which is really just minimal right now, it's spargames.com. That's SPARR. And then all of our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook is that domain /Spar Games, all one word. And then we have links to the Kickstarter and all of that. And honestly, you can, we found out if you just go to Google and you just Google Master Thief Kickstarter, it's the first thing that pops up, which is such a blessing. Makes it real easy.
Yeah. It's amazing just how the internet makes things so much easier. Like without Kickstarter, something like this wouldn't be possible. Without Patreon for us, like doing this kind of stuff wouldn't be possible. So it's crazy how far things have come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, cool. Well, Jacob, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for, everything you've done for us over a better part of a decade, I feel like now. But just thank you so much for the amazing work, the artwork that you've given to us, and this whole new kind of era of Jay and Jack podcast. It wouldn't look as good, it wouldn't look as pretty, it wouldn't seem as cohesive and coherent without the awesome work that you've done. And to see the success for yourself through Master Thief is really exciting. And we're really happy to be here to support you and do whatever we can to help. But honestly, it seems like you don't really need our help that much. You're pretty much awesomely successful on your own. But that's, whatever we can do, we will do.
Right. No, I appreciate it so much. And honestly, it's been a blast. As long as I've been listening, as much as the whole Jay and Jack spectrum of podcasts, you guys got me into podcasts, and that's currently really all I listen to. I don't even know what a radio is anymore. But to give back in that way, to use, the one thing that I can, contribute to, for the better, has been great, and it's been a blast. So thank you guys as well.
Awesome. All right, Jacob, we'll take care, and we'll talk to you again soon. And
Great talking to you, Jacob.
Actually, we don't know if we'll probably have to get an appointment with you the next time we want to talk to you, because it'd be
I don't think he will talk to us.
Have meetings with wizards of the West Coast, and
we'll have to talk to an assistant of an assistant.
My secretary.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just going to be me with a higher voice.
Hello. Sorry, Jacob isn't available. But cool. All right. Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
That's awesome. It was really cool.
Now with Kickstarter,
that was Jacob Parr, and he's done all of our artwork. We showed our artwork earlier, and he's him and his friend, who's also Jacob, released or put a Kickstarter up for this game Master Thief, and it's already gotten funded, and it's so cool. It's so exciting to see stuff like that.
Now, people on Kickstarter, do they get a percentage of the company, or that just?
Yeah, I think they get 5%.
Okay.
Patreon gets 5% of what we're getting. So.
Okay.
Probably not happy about that, but yeah, they're putting the service out there. I think 5% is fair.
Yeah, it's fair. What am I gonna do? We'll fight the man.
Yeah, it's much easier just join the man than fight the man.
It is easier. I just didn't know how Kickstarter worked. I've heard of it.
We got a text from Chris in Boston. He says, "Cheers, biatches. Congrats."
Did he kick people out of the chat room?
No, he has not banhammered, and I'll put it. It's actually a mirror, so you can't really see it. But and Dan Motorlock has texted us. He says, "I consider both of you to be my sons. Yes, you often disappoint me. That's life, huh? Thanks for 10 years of doing an okay job. Love your dad, Dan. Waffles are better than pancakes, Glatfelter." So thank you, Dan, the waffle man.
Is he older than I thought?
He is. He's he might be part vampire. That could
maybe
be.
On one of his hikes, maybe he was frozen over time and got thawed out, because the dude is always. You follow him on Instagram and stuff. Has the greatest photos in the world. That just
He does.
Never. It doesn't seem like he's ever working. He's always out hiking and.
Well, I feel bad because I kind of had to stop following him on because he'll post like 10,000 nature photos.
But they're great photos, though.
They're fantastic. So what I'll do is I'll search his name and then I'll look through them at my leisure. But in the
Oh, so you're an Instagram snob, is what you're saying.
It's not being a snob. It's just
Yeah, it's pretty snob. It's like they're like postcard type photos.
Some other things coming
even though he's misguided on his waffles versus pancakes.
This is from Instagram. You guys are the first podcast I listened to and since have become an addict. Thanks for the hours of great Lost conversations. Miss looking forward to new episodes. And of course, crackpot theories. That's from the Average Runner. Cat Swirled. You guys mean so much to me. Thanks for being so awesome. I always appreciate the time you took to give us hours and hours of joy. You should have a Lost podcast with Jay and Jack reunion party so we can all hang out. Well, that's what we're doing now. We're here broadcasting live.
That's actually a pretty good idea. What state should we meet in?
Paul says your podcast is also one of the first ones I've listened to. It's fantastic. Then, of course, I went to The Married Man because you guys, I've listened to some sort of podcast, radio show, or book every day, all day at work since Lost season 2. You guys are my first and made Lost even better than it was, which is hard. Thanks. And did you borrow that notepad from Dale? He's referring to the fact that the note it was on was a Viagra.
I can't believe you kept that. Well, I'm not shocked you kept that, but it just
it's
I don't have any.
So I actually have a journal that was given to me by my aunt Cindy. She's famous in these parts, anonymous aunt for those of you who don't know. But remember, I'm blanking on his name. I'm gonna get
Faraday.
Faraday, yes. So there's the Faraday's journal.
You have like ink marks on your hand.
So Zachary made an art project for his teacher.
Okay.
And I have paint on my arm, but really Colleen and the floor and Zachary are the main sufferers, and that there's so much paint everywhere. Actually, I'll show it to you now since we are on video. So this is what he made.
That's nice. Kid has talent.
So, and it'll be a picture of him and the teacher, which is kind of cool. It's because it's their last day. It's actually a friend of Cliff randomly, which Cliff is going to be on the show at 9:30. Cliff.
That's the young teacher.
Yes, Alyssa. But yeah, so my aunt, the book that he had was this one. This is the same one that he had for his notebook, and my aunt found it and bought it and sent it to me. So it is my little journal. I don't write in it that much, but what I do, let's get it focused again. And
if you do,
I put in little mementos. So I actually have from our 10th anniversary, not 10th. I'm sorry, the Lost finale party. When I went out on stage, and this was my notes that I took out there to say like specs on the videos. We had that contest to win the van.
Right.
I've got an old this right here is a newspaper clipping from when I was AP article picked up a thing I was featured on for upload speeds because upload speeds are really slow.
There's the original desk.
Yeah, that's the original studio there with the original iMac that I used. And look how young and little I was.
I threw that desk out the window.
That desk fell apart. But yeah, so there's an article that was picked up a lot of places about upload speeds because they were horrible. They're still horrible. But Google Fiber is actually changing that. And funny enough,
are they sponsoring
Google
us?
Fiber.
Are they sponsoring us? Okay.
Just saying. So this is where I put little things, little mementos in my life in this book. And there you go.
I didn't say because I think Ralph said at one time he saved every single note he had from Dharmalars.
I have a lot of those too. Like I was saving them. I was like maybe put them up for auction one day, but that's
really
buy those notes.
I've saved no notes.
But yeah, there's some more coming in here. We got from Sad. Thank you for everything you've given us over the last 10 years. Martha, Liz, can't believe it's been 10 years already. I feel like we're friends. Still haven't met you. Congrats and thank you for all you do. And Love the Lost podcast. Also did the transmission. Some of the best times of my life was sharing on the Lostness. That's from Chris. So 10 years. 10 actually. So did you get a drink at all? You're still going to drink that horrible water.
It's the best tasting water in the world.
Do you have any like booze over there? It's a party.
I have beer.
So why don't you go get a beer and then we'll do a toast because
Okay,
it's
all
9
right.
o'clock now. I feel like
Hold
we
on.
can drink and
It's-
drink. We're adults.
It's
here.
9 o'clock somewhere.
It's 9 o'clock somewhere.
All right, hold on.
But I have a 15-year Macallan Scotch in honor of McCutcheon because I don't think there's actually a real McCutcheon. But yeah, we have this. We have this here. We have a line that just came in from Nick Dunn, who is part of our Game of Thrones podcast. And Nick says he has a box where he keeps a lock of Jack's hair, which is rare when you think about it. But we should have Nick call in real quick. Why don't you give him the number so he can call in for a second? But Nick is a fantastic addition to our Game of Thrones podcast. If you haven't listened to it, we put it on our Lost feed. And this, I think it's spring-ish, the new season of Game of Thrones will come out, and then we'll have our next season of Game of Thrones with Jay, Jack, and Nick. Nick is our Game of Thrones historian, and he does a fantastic job, and it's made the show a billion times better. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. Some of the most fun I've had podcasting in a long time. So if you like Game of Thrones, definitely check out Game of Thrones with Jay, Jack, and Nick. No, Jack's going to get drinks right now. So as we do get ready here to share a toast to 10 years of podcasting, I'm going to play Jay and Jack classic song. I got them all here. What should I do? Let's do Jesus Stick. The first one I ever did was Jesus Stick, which was in season 2. Mr. Echo had the stick that we started calling Jesus Stick, and the radio shows I listened to did cover songs. So in class one day, because I was 20 and I was still going to college, I wrote this song called Jesus Stick. So let's check it out. Jesus Stick, Jesus Stick, definitely something you don't want to get hit with. Jesus Stick, Jesus Stick.
Hey, it's stained in blood. That's right, folks. As seen on TV, Jesus Stick, the new wonder in self-protection. No longer do you have to worry about the others kidnapping you. A Jesus Stick at your side shows that you mean business. Just listen to some of these satisfied customers.
I got a Jesus Stick because others were always trying to take me. I found twigs and branches, just wouldn't cut it. Now that I have a Jesus Stick, I'm walking tall. Thanks, Jesus Stick.
So what are you waiting for? Make sure you go to the store and pick up your Jesus Stick today and kiss the others goodbye.
Jesus Stick, Jesus Stick.
Hey, it's stained in blood. Side effects of the use of Jesus Stick include swelling, headache, and death. Do not use Jesus Stick while operating heavy machinery or while using other forms of self-protection. Make sure to ask a doctor before using Jesus Stick.
Was that my voice in the?
Yeah, that was you.
Okay, I was like, I don't remember saying that, but
Well, because I knew you couldn't sing, so I was like, okay, what can I get Jack to do
couldn't sing.
for this song? So I was like, well, I'll just have him be a testimonial.
We can't sing. Jeez.
Do I have to play Super Kate? Not Super Kate. What was the one?
Lenny.
Oh, 48, 56, 23, 42.
Lenny.
Lenny. We'll have to play that.
Play Jorge's version of it.
Do you have your drink as we toast to 10 years? Do you have something?
I looked for something harder. That's what all I could find with a Miller genuine draft.
An MGD, really?
That's all I could
All right,
find.
whatever.
I don't want to
have,
take the last blue moon when Colleen comes over. I saved that for her. We don't have a lot of alcohol in here.
So we got a little bit of.
I'm not on Blue Bloods.
And Colleen's actually having a margarita over there. But all right, there you go. There's it's a sipping drink. It's not a chug situation. But Jack, here is to 10 years of podcasting, and maybe possibly I can survive for 10 years more. But like you said, maybe Zach will just take over. It'll be Jack and Zach. But here's the 10 years, and Mazel Tov.
There you go. Thank you. Of course, with Zach, it'll have to be his way.
Yeah, he's more stubborn than me.
I pretty much give in to him anytime he wants.
All right, I'm taking over. I can't hear Jack, but Jack, I gave you something when you left my house today. Do you have it?
No. What do you have?
I gave you something when you left my house. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm not wearing makeup.
left
and
that-
brushed
I
my
left
teeth.
I can just put you on the mic if you don't want to be on the screen.
No, I want you to be on the screen.
I left that in the car, and somebody just drove away with the car.
What do you say?
I left it in the trunk of the car.
Can you really? Why would you leave it in the car?
I forgot all about it, and Cindy just drove
Can
away.
somebody go get it from the car, please?
No, Cindy just drove away.
Really?
Yeah, she had to go to the rink. So
Are you serious right now?
I guess.
yeah, I forgot all about it. Sorry, I forgot.
What
I
time
forgot
is she
all
back?
about it. She won't be back till like 11 o'clock.
Okay, well, is there any chance that somebody could please bring the car back? It's kind of important. Oh, you suck!
Don't tell me I couldn't be on Survivor.
Mr. Bluff.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm voting for.
Pull that out.
Yeah, we'll vote for them. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that you guys
I
have
didn't look at
awesome
it either.
kick-ass listeners right now. I can't get over the fact that I'm on here without makeup or brushed hair.
I'm same
Also,
thing.
Jacob made this.
All right, so what do we do?
So, open it. This is from. There was like 130 people involved in this,
Really?
and I have a e-card, and I'm actually going to order the actual card for it. Wait, let Jack get to his.
I'm struggling here.
'Cause you guys have to do it at the same
Man,
time.
you have a lot of tape on
And I
this.
wanted to make sure that Jack didn't open his, because you were he was going to attend, and then you said yesterday he wasn't going to, so I had to think of a new plan. So I like super booby trap Jack, so he couldn't open it.
How am I gonna get this
It's
open?
fragile. I just want to remind everybody, it's fragile because it's fragile. No, the top's open,
Where?
but
So I guess let me know when you're close to the thing.
I feel like I'm solving a puzzle on Survivor. People are yelling at me.
hold it. Oh, I just got my own mic, guys. I should Snapchat this. Ooh.
How can I get this damn thing open?
So I know there's a lot of dead air right now, but it's exciting to see.
I'm on Snapchat, Colleen429. I'm gonna plug myself while we do this.
All right,
Hold on.
I got the box open.
All right.
There's
Alright.
more tape in here.
We're Snapchatting. I got 10 seconds, so hurry up, guys.
All right, so.
All right.
Oh wow, that is so cool.
Wow.
That is really cool.
So the way that this came about. Oop, hold on. I gotta finish Snapchatting it.
Wow.
Wow, that is amazing.
I don't know if I look that handsome, but I'll take it.
Jack, hold yours up.
There you see it.
No, he's got to talk, so it goes on the screen.
Oh,
so
talk. There
this is just amazing, guys.
you go. That's awesome.
So the way that this came about is back when we were dating and I lived in Astoria. So this is like 2007. You had mentioned that one of the things you wanted to do were Jay and Jack bobbleheads for the store. This is when you still dream big.
When he cared.
I always remember that. So a whole bunch of us got together and chipped in to get the bobbleheads. And I hope you enjoyed them. There's an e-card that everybody signed. I will forward it to you too, Jack, but there's a lot of really nice things. Here, press the page. Last will take you to the end. It's really weird the way that it's set up.
All right. So
So I hope that you guys like it.
that's awesome. This card signed
And
by everybody.
I
and-
have to say, these have been sitting on my desk at work for the last week. And my coworkers all have taken the
Yeah.
website link and they're all ordering those for like Christmas gifts for their kids. It's
This is
so
one
funny.
of this is one of the best things I've ever gotten.
That's
just-
really cool.
While they're
That's
doing
awesome.
that, I just want to thank everybody that donated.
Yeah,
because- or
Thank
not
you,
donated,
guys.
chipped in. And we did have more people chip in than people who.
Yes, that's signed. Well,
and we
hopefully you can get a
needed-
list to get everybody so we
I
can
have
say
a
thanks
list.
to everybody.
Yeah,
That's
I've
awesome.
been thanking people, but anything extra, because we had more people chip in than what they cost. So the extra amount actually is going to be donated to Cancer Gets Lost. So
Awesome.
because F cancer ruins people and lives and families.
That's really cool.
So
That's
we're
really,
donating
really
to Cancer Gets Lost. Anyway, thanks guys.
Wow. Thanks a lot, guys.
awesome.
This is
That's
very cool. Very cool.
Perfect 10th anniversary gift. Since Jack didn't get me anything.
What'd you get me?
Huh?
What'd you get me?
My love and affection.
Yeah, okay. No, that is really, I didn't even know
That's neat.
I didn't know you could do bobbleheads like that.
Yeah.
It's like perfect.
Yeah, yours looks a lot like it. I guess bald-headed people look.
You think it's easier to do bald-headed people?
I think so. But the thing is, the head proportion on mine, I think, is actually.
It's perfect.
I think it's fairly accurate.
You do look like a Q-tip, and that looks like a Q-tip.
Very cool. Thank you, everybody. That's a kingly gift.
That is very cool. I'm gonna get it. I almost feel like I have to get like a glass case to hold it in, so it doesn't break. I think I'd cry if it broke.
Let me see. I didn't get to get a good look at it.
Here it is, right here. Is that perfect?
I love the plaid shorts. That's perfect.
you
Um,
got the Charger hat. I mean,
that's perfect. That's awesome. That is cool.
that is. I didn't even expect that.
Yeah, that's a very nice gift. Very, very nice. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Colleen, for putting that all together. It's very sweet.
Yeah, it's very amazing. I forgot you wanted to have the whole store and have bobbleheads and all that stuff.
We definitely feel loved by everybody. So thank you very much. And I think now, before we get to
I think we should stop podcasting because it can't get any better than this.
Well, this is about the community as well. So why don't we open up our phone lines to you at home? We have a few minutes before Cliff comes on. Nick's going to call. So Nick, if you want to call right now, and we'll talk to Nick.
The
for a
South will rise again, Nick.
What? Can you, Colleen, if you can type to me because I can't hear you. Yes, as Jack said, Nick, the South will rise again. Done. Which honestly is on PC. We can't probably say that anymore. So Nick, possibly from the South. Done. All right. Look at Nick has one season of Game of Thrones with Jay, Jack, and Nick, and it's like, hey, Nick, just calling on Skype. It's you call me on Skype. That's what we're getting here.
He's got a bit of an ego, right?
It's a short amount of time. So I can find him here. There he is. Him with his picture of Evie. I gotta figure out how they can hear you.
Hello,
Nick. How's it going?
good. You?
Doing well. Welcome to our
Thank
10th
you.
anniversary soiree.
Yeah. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I can't hear Jack.
You don't need you don't need to hear Jack. It's to be honest. You podcasted with him now. Is it that necessary?
Not really. Yeah. You get the gist. Like you said to Ralph, after he's the same old thing over and over.
I'm on a loop.
So Nick, we got about 5 minutes or so.
Cool.
But what are you up to? I mean, because Game of Thrones, we're in a heavy hiatus right now. We're like in the deep throes of our Game of Thrones hiatus. But what's going on in your world?
Well, for the last month, I've been working on my master's thesis, and that's what I've been doing all day today is writing out a chapter. It's due tomorrow, so I did take a little bit of time off to hear you guys ramble.
Aw.
Yeah.
So special.
But yeah, Game of Thrones though is looking pretty good. Seeing a lot of photos coming out of the sets of characters that may or may not be dead, and some scenes from things that happened prior to the show. So some prequel material. So it's going to be a pretty interesting season.
Are you happy they won Best Drama?
You still there?
Sorry, Jack is right. Remember, you can't hear him. He said, "What did you think about them winning the Emmy?"
I was happy.
Which is surprising considering this season was a bit divisive.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I thought season 1 and season 3, maybe 4, were the best seasons of Game of Thrones so far. This season was not my favorite just because it varied so much from the book. and it was very controversial to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I was happy. I mean, I knew that it wasn't going to win in those years because you had so many other good shows, Breaking Bad and Mad Men, and some of the other things that it was competing against. And the fact that it won and that it won so many Emmys, I felt that it finally got its due of being recognized as a great show. Because a lot of people were bashing it for sure, saying, "Oh, it doesn't win against these," and the only reason why it won. But it's a good show, and it will last.
Yeah, and especially for something like Game of Thrones, there's this stigma against science fiction TV, science fiction film, and it's kind of rare when they win. It's like when Lost won its first season, that was kind of a rarity. And BSG never won, so it's kind of cool that it kind of transcends and kind of gets past that science fiction stigma.
Yeah, I don't know if it is science. It does have elements of science fiction, but it's mostly based in history with some fantasy elements put in there, and I think that's why it works. The same way Lost worked is that it skirted that fine line between science, fantasy, and then just everyday real life. Because I mean, aside, you take the dragons out and you take some of the weird stuff out of Game of Thrones, it's just a history, almost a documentary kind of thing.
Wait, dragons aren't real?
Because it's the War of the Roses. It's Queen Elizabeth I. It's so many things.
There's a really good, and I don't know where the link is where you'd find it, but they did a cool like animated video of the War of Roses and how it relates to Game of Thrones. Have you seen that one?
I think I actually sent that to you and Jack.
Oh, maybe that's how I saw it.
Yeah. But yeah, I did see that. Yeah, and they did a very good and very quick version of the War of the Roses just to show you exactly that, the Lannisters or the Lancasters and things like that, where you get the similar elements.
Yeah, and I think the big thing will be, will it vary towards the end, or is it already spoiled for everybody?
No, I think it'll. George has said maybe 2 months ago that you're not going to get that PG-13 ending where I know a lot of people want it to where like, oh, Jon Snow and Dany get married and then everything lives happily after, And it's like, no, that's not going to happen. I mean, this is Game of Thrones, and he's already said it's going to be bittersweet. That it'll be happy ending, but it'll be at a great cost.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I expect it to be.
Much like life.
Yes, much like life.
That is how it will be. So how are you? Are you still dating that person that you're dating?
I am. Yes. She's doing well. She's in North Dakota visiting her father right now, so I haven't seen her in a month.
Month.
Yeah, she takes off like that.
I think that's the only way you could probably.
She works independently,
well,
so
I think people have to take a month off from Nick.
Here's the thing: is I think you showed me a picture first before I ever met her, and she's her name's Aretha. She's very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, sure. This is your quote unquote girlfriend, whatever.
Just making it up. Yeah.
And a lot of it's like, well, my girlfriend, she's doing her own thing today, but she's here, but she's hanging out with her friends, and it's fine. I'm not, clinging.
It's kind of a Costanza situation.
It is a bit of a Costanza situation. And, but then I actually got to meet her, and she's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely, a brilliant woman. And,
oh yeah.
She's
awesome. I mean, I love geeks, and that's where I met her, is at Comic-Con, over a year ago, and we just kind of hit it off. We're real similar people, and of course, I get that from everybody. Like, they see her and they go, "Oh my God, how'd you get her?" I'm like, "I don't know."
I don't ask questions.
Yeah,
well, I say the same thing as myself about Colleen. How did I get such a beautiful wife?
Exactly, absolutely. And then the kid keeps getting cuter and cuter every day too.
Now the kid just outshines both of us, so it's not
Oh, he's a charmer.
But she is an attorney, and she works not for a firm or anything. She works independently, so she can just take off wherever she wants and work from home. So that's what she does. She goes and visits her dad for a while, then comes back and visits her mom, and she just goes wherever she wants.
That's cool.
I wish I had that luxury.
Don't we all?
Yeah. But so what was I going to say?
I don't know.
But yeah, it's crazy. Like, going back to like what Ralph was saying earlier about, I remember the first time I heard you guys, which was somewhere in 2006, just doing archaeological digs, needed something listened to, same thing. And you just kind of like, oh, let's see what I like Lost. Let's pick some of the top 3 podcasts and crap.
And we made the cut.
Knocking on my door. And then you just kind of go, oh, and then you guys you just had a chemistry about the two of you that was really fun and enjoyable to listen to. And then of course all the theories and people that were calling in, you know, having these crazy ideas that you never thought of. It just made you want to keep listening to see like, how many creative people there are out in the world thinking of things that you wouldn't have thought of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it is crazy to think. I remember when you joined the Boars as the Noid was your handle.
Yeah,
and you were Nick the Noid for a long time. And now you have your own podcast with us, and you're the better part of that podcast. So,
oh, thank you for that. No, yeah, exactly. Well, I get nervous, of course, but yeah, exactly. So, for any fans out there, it can happen. The dream can come true. No.
You hang around long enough, and Jay and Jack get lazy enough, they'll
give you your own podcast.
We tried to do it on our own.
Remember, we did try to do it on our own. It didn't go well at all. It was a horrible show.
Too much work. Worst podcast we've ever done.
Really, you would say the original, our first run at Game of Thrones was the worst we ever did?
I couldn't stand doing
Me? I don't think I ever listened to it actually.
So there you go.
I don't remember if I did. It was maybe like the first 2 episodes, and then you guys were like, "Oh, we're gonna get rid of it," and then I just like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I think
I don't even remember it.
We were recording 5.
I've listened to so many.
Weren't we at that time?
So many.
I think
this is like
so many. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I hated it.
What else? We had. I don't even remember the. Crap. What was the show that you guys did for like half a season? And there's so many right there in that time period where you guys would do a half a season and then the show would get canceled and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
So,
there was a period there where Flash Forward, I think was.
Flash Forward. Yeah. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
But just we love podcasting. We love doing this. So we wanted to find new shows to talk about, in the post-Lost world, and some didn't quite keep it going or surviving. But what's great about kind of our style now is we don't do a show until we love a show and love talking about a show. And we've stopped Game of Thrones. We couldn't do it at the level that we wanted to, but having you on has helped us kind of be at that level because you are definitely an expert. You've read the books. You're well-read. And I think it's what's kind of really fun about the show is that you kind of compare it to the books, what's from the books, where does it deviate.
I give inside information, and Jay just sits there.
And I'll keep it and try to keep it where people won't get spoiled. That's the challenge.
And that too, but respecting the fact that people don't want to be spoiled. So I think it's a good balance of all of those things. And you can check that out if you're listening at home on iTunes. Actually, I think we post them on our Jay and Jack feed, and there's still a Game of Thrones feed on there, I believe. So you can search Game of Thrones with Jay, Jack, and Nick. That's the beauty of putting all of our shows out there for free for everybody now. Is it's accessible for everybody. You can go subscribe to it, and it's a lot of fun. So excited for Game of Thrones to come back and to do that podcast for the spring TV season. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm already looking forward to it coming back. Yeah, just
now they're saying that they're going to kind of split it up into more seasons now, because I think they're saying it might only be 7 seasons, only 2 more seasons, but now they're saying it could go beyond that.
Yeah, well, that's what the producers had been saying, like seven, God, 7 books so far, supposedly 7 seasons makes sense, but HBO never agreed to that. So they're like, well, they can say what they want, but
we're making money.
So. And I don't see that they could get it done in 7 seasons either. It's just too much. Because I know this next book's going to be thick, and I doubt I'll even finish the story in this next book. So
yeah,
it's going to go on. I would say 9 seasons is more realistic, but
yeah, well, we'll see.
Hey, ask Nick if he can get George R.R. Martin as a guest on our podcast.
And as we kind of wrap up here, Jack wants to know if he can get George R.R. Martin on the show.
I wish. He's, Jack's the one, the smooth talker. He's the one that gets all the famous people on, not me. Maybe if I pinned him at Comic-Con, it was like, put the microphone in his face, like talk. I got him on the podcast.
What's the guy from SNL? He's like,
oh yeah, Hader's character.
Yeah, Bill Hader's character. What you think of? But anywho, Nick, like I said, great to have you on.
Sure.
Just not only as co-host for our Game of Thrones show, but just a good friend.
Fun to hang
known
out with.
for a long time, like family, and been around the community that we've had for a long time as well. So it's fantastic to have you on. And
Flies by.
it does. It really does. Well, good luck on your thesis. Get back to work. I don't want you to get.
If you need some help, just call me.
But thank you, Nick, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank y'all. Be good.
Bye. Well, before Cliff comes on, we should
He's from the South. Y'all.
Living in the South. I don't really count North Carolina as the South, but in the South,
It's the South.
Raleigh, Durham.
You can say that
Chapel
you're not in
Hill's
the
not the
South, but it's the South.
I get it, but just in terms of there's so many people
Transplants.
here, transients, carpetbaggers, that it's not really.
Well, you just use a Southern term, so
But I don't say y'all. I still say you guys.
you said carpetbagger. That's a Southern term.
I know. Let's take a call before Cliff comes on. Our number, and it's whoever the first one calls. This thing doesn't really have a call waiting, which you should probably figure out. But I'm going to put the number out there. Whoever calls first will answer first, and then after Cliff, we'll take some more calls. Because this is a party. We're here to celebrate 10 years of podcasting with Jay and Jack, and 10th anniversary of the Lost podcast with Jay and Jack. Number is 919-858-6108. 108. It's one of the numbers. If you add up all the numbers, it's the number. So anyway, it's 919-858-6108. So whoever's at home that wants to call in right now, now's your chance.
Especially if you're drunk.
So go ahead and call in whenever you want to, and then we'll go right to you.
That number again
is 919-858-6108. All right. While we wait for whoever wants to call in to call, how you doing over there, Jack? You having?
I'm doing great.
I can't get over how cool our bobbleheads are.
I'm seriously, it's one of the coolest things I've ever gotten. It's just so cool.
I think our shows now should just be like being puppets
yours,
with the.
Yeah, yours looks like somebody, and I can't figure out who it is.
It looks like Robin Thicke because I'm handsome like him.
But great, you just broke your bobblehead. You know why? Because your head's too big. It just can't support. Your head can't support the body. I think I look like a little like Lance Armstrong.
Is it the baldness?
That or I'm juiced up. I think that's what it is.
Oh man!
I can say something else, but this is not the married man, so I will not go that direction. So I won't say that.
I guess not.
I'll keep it
clean.
clean.
I guess people are trying to call, but it's not going through. Maybe it's overloaded right now with calls.
Oh, that's probably what it is. Yeah.
It was working earlier. I don't know why it's not working now. I don't know. I
remember we used to use TalkShoe. Remember that? Did a couple podcasts using TalkShoe.
Recorded live.
Of course, the first year we did the Autism Speaks podcast.
While we wait for that, there is a one of the favorite song I ever did was I don't think I'm on hold. How can I be on hold? Here we got a call. It's from Heroes fan number 1, Jamie Hill. Oh, Jamie, how's it going? Hey, how are you? Welcome.
I'm doing
Hello?
Hey, it's Matt.
Oh, Matt?
AKA Matt Loves TV.
Oh, hey, how's it going? It said Jamie
it's not
Hill.
Jamie?
That's weird. Sorry about that.
Oh.
Matt, how's it going?
That's all right. Yeah, it just kind of threw me off. But yeah, I'm doing pretty well.
Maybe everybody flooding in. It went to the other thing. I have no idea. That's weird. Oh, look. Oh, he's on hold. 2 people called in at once. Okay, well, Matt, Matt Loves TV, it's great to have you on. How's it going?
It's going all right. How about you guys?
Doing well. I'm into my 5th scotch, so I'm feeling a little warm. I'm kidding. I'm not really into my 5th scotch, but anywho. But we're celebrating 10 years of podcasting. What are you up to?
Not much. I'm I'm kind of thinking about relaunching my own podcast. I had one a few years ago, kind of went away, and I'm actually kind of working on the logo. So
Ooh, nice.
that's kind of what I've been doing while listening to you guys celebrate your first decade in podcasting.
Yeah, because I mean, Matt, it's Matt Loves Lost, right?
Matt Loves TV.
Matt Loves TV.
Yeah.
How long have you been off of podcasting? I mean, I feel bad because I don't listen to podcasts as much as I used to. But I remember you from the olden times, the way back times.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I had a podcast. Robin and Steph Smith had a podcast for a while, and then they had to hang up, and I actually took over for them for a couple of years. But then, stuff got in the way, and I had to kind of put it on hold. But now I'm gonna dust off the mic and get back on it. So
nice.
Yeah.
It's very easy to stop podcasting. We've been doing it for 10 years. I feel like we're like the not Lou Gehrig, even better. I'm going to top that one. Cal Ripken.
There you go.
Of podcasting. We made it 10 years. What is the longest streak? We got to look at the longest streak of podcasting, Jack. We got to figure that one out.
Should be like in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, I believe I heard like some guy's been like doing podcasts since like 1994.
There wasn't even the internet in 1994.
It's probably that Nerdist guy. Probably the guy from
Al Gore's been podcasting since the beginning of it.
That'd be an exciting podcast.
He's also on Heroes, so yeah.
Oh man. Well, that's cool. Well, do you have a website is it still something online so that when you get your things back online, people can check it out?
I don't have anything up yet, but you can follow me on Twitter, just at Matt Loves TV. That's where you can find me. You can also find me. I post all the time in the Facebook group. So
perfect.
When something comes out, I will let you guys know.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you for coming on. We got the insufferable Cliff Armstrong coming on now. But thank you so much for calling in and being a part of our 10th anniversary. And this is us podcasting is really about the listeners, and the listener feedback was such an important part of our podcast. And honestly was the forefront of our podcast.
Wouldn't have worked without it.
It is just so amazing how just the podcasting community just the kind of the intimacy and the bond that's created. Like, I know so much about you guys. it's kind of crazy. And like, if you ask me what like any of my coworkers' kids' names are, I'd be like, I don't know, but I could tell you like Jay and Colleen's like entire relationship history. But it's crazy. But yeah, I'll let you guys go talk to Cliff, and thank you for letting me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one. All right.
You too.
All right. See you, Matt. Bye.
They still can't hear me, right?
They still can't hear you. I got to figure out how to, for those that listening at home that are better at this stuff than, because I'm an old timer podcaster, as my wife told me yesterday, I don't know the technologies as well anymore because I'm 30 now.
Actually, I'm learning the new technology, so
well, the setup I have, and because I can take this camera off, which is pretty cool. It's a new camera that I got. So I've got the Skype is coming in. Yeah.
Oh, you're not using.
So I got the laptop has the Skype in there and the music and stuff like that, and then I've got that connected to the board, and then the mic's all hooked up to the board, and then that goes into my little thingy, the Duet.
Yeah.
Then that hooks into my Mac Mini that I have. Well, you can't even really see it below there. And then, so I got to figure out how to get.
I got to get a camera. I like that. It's because it's a better angle. It's better.
It's all about getting a good angle. Is this Cliff calling now? I think it is. Maybe. We'll see. Possibly. I'm not going to assume. Hello?
Jay, Jack, what's going on?
Hey, Cliff, how's it going?
Hey.
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? Have you figured out the whatchamacallit on the feed on the live thing?
The Skype thing, and Jack not being able to hear Jack.
No,
I haven't figured
that out.
Jack
talking right?
He's talking, so you won't be able to hear him. So it's just you and me, Cliff, and then Jack's
all right,
commentary on the
just
side.
you and me. And Jack's over in the
Jack can
background.
hear you.
I can hear you.
Him.
I can hear Cliff. You sound great, Cliff.
Yeah, I'm
says you
sure
sound
there's a
great.
delay on
I don't know why I yelled
on
that
the
because you
YouTube
can't
channel
hear
that I'm checking out with you guys. So it's actually pretty neat. So what
Um,
are you guys up to besides the 10-year anniversary and all that jazz?
well, it's 10 years. 10 years of podcasting.
Made my first million podcasting
10
right now.
years, man. It's been a wild ride, and
Yeah.
I was like right before the podcast, I was looking at some of all the old videos that we did, like for New Dia and the LA event, which was really neat when you and Jack switched Jack switched roles, and that was
great.
fun. That was good times. Good times.
That was a lot of fun. And you can check that out. Actually, I think it's still on our YouTube page, the Jay and Jack YouTube page. You can check out those videos. But that is one of my favorite ones we ever did, Cliff, because for those who maybe don't know at home, I mean, if you listen to this for a while, you should know Cliff. But Director Cliff, just the guy that put together all of our awesome videos over the years, and was there for the founding of Jay and Jack Plus. We really like all the cool video stuff that we did wouldn't have been possible without Cliff and his access to like a full-fledged professional studio.
His editing skills were amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean, one of the best editors in the game. I mean, and he's in Hollywood now, so he's kind of a big deal.
Hey, what about our buddy? What about our buddy TV pilot?
I'm not that much of a video.
Hey, you're in Hollywood, man. You went big time. You left Raleigh. You're in Hollywood. You're gone now.
It was quite a journey, and for those of you guys who don't know, literally I could walk out of my edit bay right now, walk over to the window like a few doors down, and see the water tower on the Warner Brothers lot. So that's kind of how close I am, and
Did you move?
you know, it's fun. It's been a lot of fun out here, and scary too. Like the very first time you make a big move or a big transition. Yeah, it's scary. You don't know what's going to happen, but then everything just kind of falls into place, and everything works out, and you just kind of hit the ground running, and keep working, and things happen. Good things happen. That's what I think. That's just like you guys. You guys have been on for 10 years. Like we didn't even know what was going to happen, like at the beginning, or making all those videos. But here we are, just doing good stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so.
Hey, Cliff is in the Survivor video too.
Cliff's in the Survivor was so we're doing Patreon now, and so basically people can contribute money, become a patron for the podcast, and all of our shows are free. Jay and Jack Plus is no more, and we have different tiers. Like if we get so and so much a month, we have different tiers where we'll do special things. So at the $2,000 level, there's a legendary tape of Jack driving a Zamboni naked, and it was a Survivor audition tape. And what people may or may not know is Cliff was also in this audition tape, a very young Cliff. Do you remember that, Cliff?
Indeed, I do somewhat remember. Not really, but sure. If I'm in there, that's cool. I think I'd donate to see that.
I got hosed.
Or at least remember seeing it again, or not. I really don't know.
Well, it's on VHS, and I have it. It's hidden in my house, so Jack can't find it and destroy the tape. But Cliff is
like
on
I
there.
could find something in your house.
Well, it was 2002. So how old were you in 2002, Cliff?
Oh gosh, 2002.
Yeah, 02.
1981. I was 21. I was 21, wasn't I?
A young babe, a young pup.
Yeah,
How old are you now?
21.
34, 35?
Yep, 34.
Wow,
34.
I was 40. Wow.
So I got Jack's still 70. So
But so what's great about you is back then you had this kind of like long, not long hair, but like parted hair. Do you remember? And it's kind of.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So that
it's probably still in my student ID.
But yeah. So what's some of the cool stuff you've been working on in Hollywood?
Well, I'd say like the coolest stuff was basically like if you had seen any movie trailer like coming out this summer, I probably had a hand in not the creative aspect on it, but I did work on it.
Really?
it was a cool place called Ant Farm, and you can go to their website and like they did the Transformers trailer. They did I mean, just to name a few, which I was really proud to be a part of.
Mhm.
And I mean, let's see here, like Terminator Genesis, Tomorrowland, Mission Impossible 5, Pixels was another cool one. Daddy's Home, which is another one. The Walk, which is actually coming out in a little bit. I mean, it was
The
really
Walk,
cool.
that's an awesome looking movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like and it was interesting because the perspective I had was sort of a cog in the wheel, and the folks that I worked with are really great folks over there. They're the ones who actually who cut the trailers and that you saw in the theaters, and I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed working there for a little bit. And then it's like everybody here hires based on how much work they have, and labor's slowing down, so it's like you got to find other work, and I think it's actually kind of good because I'm back at another place that I used to work at before. And a really successful show that I got picked up for season 2 was a show on the OWN network, which is called Live in Lazada. So I got picked up for season 2. So I guess nobody has ever heard of it at all.
I've heard of
the
the
people that have watched it on, but it's cool. It gave me a different perspective on like the people who work on like the really big movies, and the people who work on sort of the the smaller reality TVs and YouTube, and just everybody who is a creative, like on all walks, or in all from the top level to like the student who's making like their short student films. Like we're all creative people, and it's just great to be in a culture. It's just great to be out in a place where that's I don't have any words for it. It's just a good feeling.
Nice.
It's just a very good feeling. So
and it's cool to say like
Yeah,
you're part of these things, and it was great that you were able to do it in Raleigh in a smaller market like this. So, but now you're out there and you have everything at your fingertips, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's definitely bigger fish. And I've also been recently talking to the folks here who I've known for a while. Doing the whole like grabbing lunches and catching up with people, and but I'm transitioning to hopefully to do more editing work instead of assistant editing work, which which is more like on the creative side, and it's gonna start out slow, just like anything. I'm gonna have to pay my dues, and hopefully it'll lead to something. It'll lead to something even bigger. But I'm here to stay, and it's just fun. It's just having a good time.
That's awesome. That's really cool. It's really, really cool. What's your favorite, since it's 10th anniversary, it's time to reminisce. What's your favorite moments from the years that we have worked together?
Probably playing the bad guy in one of the Las Vegas.
Yes.
That's always memorable. I remember we were doing the one scene where you're outside. We were outside the Iceplex parking lot, and it was just so cold.
Oh my!
Oh yeah.
And we poured all of this chocolate, like mousse syrup over Jack.
Yes, we covered Jack.
And we were all just freezing.
Yeah,
it was so cold, but there's something that reminded me of that night.
Well,
that was a cold night.
That was a really cold night, and what I think that was my favorite vidcast we ever did was that one, because we had that team help us out with the production of it. So we had kind of a somewhat professional feel to it. We still did it. It was still very scrappy. We did it in a weekend, but I felt like the production of that was really cool. The story was really cool. And for those who don't know, it was the episode 2.2. Is it on YouTube somewhere to watch? Like, I don't know.
I was trying to find it. I guarantee you I have it at home on a hard drive, and I was thinking about if it's not on YouTube, I remember you posted it on the feed, but maybe if it's not on YouTube, it could be a donation incentive to put those back on.
Yeah, put them back because there was a trilogy that we
You
did.
never know.
It was a trilogy of podcasts for 1, 2, 3, and the second one. But the second one I think is one. The story is really good. It's very Empire Strikes Back in. I really like the story in the second one, but the editing was really cool. I thought we got some really cool shots. And that guy, the guy that we worked with, he actually ran for, I think, state senate this past year in North Carolina. Did you know that?
I think I do remember.
I did not know that. Really.
Yeah.
Eric, I think his name. I remember
his friend, not your friend, but the other guy that he worked with, Molotov, Mitchell.
Oh, I don't remember him. I mean, I do remember him, but I don't remember his name.
Well, he I think Molotov was, but he went like that was his whole campaign. So he had this picture that said Molotov, Mitchell, and he ran for state senate. But I mean, it's neither here nor there. But that was a good time. And I just remember we went to Denny's. Like we all went to Denny's really late at night afterwards.
Oh gosh, yeah, all of the Denny's.
It was like 4 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah, 4 a.m. and there's the after school program that we used as a set for
Cool
vidcast and stuff for all that.
Oh yeah.
And it was a lot of fun, and like you can see like kind of, because I was young and we were trying stuff, and I feel like that just the more knowledge we get and the more knowledge that we kind of learn, like they improved, they got better.
Mm-hmm.
They got more fun and more exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Going back, so recently I did a vidcast called The Making of the Lost Vidcast. So it was the making of the first episode of that trilogy, and I found it. It's on DVD that I have. I might have to re-release that, but do you remember I did that? Like I had a little camera myself and I made like a making of.
I think so. Yeah.
So it's on there too. The next time you're in town and staying over, I'll have to put that on and just have some fun old memories of the.
No, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good, having a good time out here. I always love you guys. It was great seeing you at Comic-Con, and it's just like old times. I mean, I think I have to thank you guys because you're the guys that actually like brought me out to Comic-Con, and I think Hawaii was also a very, very cool experience.
I love that part. I love telling that story.
Like just you guys, like all of us, everybody, just like seeing the cast and having like those great conversations, and it's funny because just recently, like Damon Lindelof, Carlton Cuse, like two guys from Lost, that everybody we all know and love. Carlton Cuse actually co-wrote Earthquake with The Rock this past summer.
Yeah.
And Damon Lindelof co-wrote Tomorrowland with Brad Bird.
Mm-hmm.
And so even with the success and even and I think that those two guys, like they keep doing it. They keep working. They keep putting the words on the page, as they say out here. And it's kind of like that. It's kind of like a good thing. It's like, you guys are continuing to do it. Like I'm continuing to do it. I mean, it's a good, like, positive reinforcement for those guys. As well as like, I guess it's just, you never know what's going to happen. And I really don't know where I'm going with this conversation.
Yes,
I guess you brought a Cliff story.
Yes.
Classic Cliff.
It's not a Cliff conversation without somehow coming to where we don't. It just ends. But yeah, that's awesome. And Cliff, so many good memories, and you're a dear friend and your family. And we always enjoy when we get to see you and get to talk to you. And hopefully it's not too long before you come out and see us again. Over here. We know you're busy, so no pressure. But you're still, it's like, come and see your, friends every now. It's the one thing I miss the most is just used to just come over, we used to just hang out like all the time. So I miss that. There's times like we're Colleen and I are sitting down. And it's like, man, I just miss having Cliff here. Like you would just come over, we just sit around, play a game, watch TV, have a margarita, you would pass out, play Crossfire. I miss those days, but it's all for the best because you are doing amazing and wonderful things, and We actually made friends with one of your friend, Alyssa, who's Zach's.
Yeah.
is-
It was great because on my Facebook feed, she was like, oh my God, do you know somebody named like Jay and Colleen? I'm like, yeah, they're my friends. We've been friends forever with them. And then she sent me a picture, and it's like, I'm gonna name your son Snack Attack or something. Zach Snack Attack. I remember. Or Snackery. That's what it was.
yes.
So, but she was a good friend who I met with, with some other folks who are also out here, and we all take different paths, but we all come from the same place. So, but yeah, it's been good, and you guys have been, a part of my life for, forever and a day, man, and it's the same thing. You guys are my friends. You always will be. I was your best man at your wedding.
Yep.
Jack and I, for the first part of the wedding, had each other's wedding coats.
Yes.
On. That was fun.
I was looking through pictures, and I looked, and I saw the one of you where your hands are like coming out of the like the sleeves are kind
It's tradition for me in a wedding. It's just
they're up here, and I'm like, that's how Jack's body is, I guess.
That's what it's like to walk a mile in Jack's shoes. But that's awesome.
Exactly.
All right, Cliff. Well, we'll let you get on here because we know that you're a busy man editing movie trailers and all that amazing stuff.
Soon.
But it's wonderful talking to you, and it wouldn't be a 10th anniversary party without you being.
Tell Cliff I said goodbye.
Jack says goodbye since you can't hear him. But we'll talk to you later, Cliff, and take care.
I'll talk to you soon, and I'll always keep in touch.
All right, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.
Hey, I wanted to tell a story from that time we had the production crew helping us on that thing, and we're sitting outside freezing, and you were filming your part, and I was sitting over the corner, like on the other side of the parking lot, and they had interns there, like young, like 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids, and the guy goes, "Hey, Jack's all by himself. Someone go over there and keep him company." I go, "No, Jack's fine. Just stay over there. Jack's fine." I kind of had that and then I said afterwards, I go, that was kind of a jerk move on my part, but I was cold. I was freezing. We've been doing it for like 20 hours. I was tired. I became that person. That
you're like you had your own Christian Bale moment.
Exactly. Just stay over there, Bill O'Reilly. What is going on here, Chris Berman? Just stay over there. And then the kid came over
professionally.
Then she came over to talking to me like, "How are you?" So, I don't know. I was like, Why is someone talking to me? I'm freezing.
Oh my God.
Anyway, that was the one time in my life I had that where just leave
and you
me alone.
shoot her away.
Well, no, she came over anyway.
Jamie, you're trying to call. I'll get to you in 1 second. All right, so we can get to the next thing here. But yes, so we have. We're supposed to end at 10, but we can probably go a little bit over since I'm sure there's a lot of people want to talk. Are you okay with that, Jack? I know you're a busy man.
I'm a busy man. I do need to take a nap, but that's okay. I have to go to work at 3:00. So I gotta beat the hurricane to.
Jamie keeps calling. It's like I pause, Jay. I'll get to you. I promise. I won't leave you hanging.
Well, Jamie got me this.
What did Jamie get you?
You see it?
Oh, nice. A little license plate thing.
Very cool.
He's calling again. I mean, let's just answer it because he's being too aggressive.
He's being too aggressive.
Jamie, how's it going?
Fine. How's it going, guys?
You kept calling. I kept saying, wait. I'm going to call you. I promise. I won't leave you hanging.
I'll talk. I was trying to time it just right.
I want to talk about Heroes, darn it. This is my chance.
Heroes Reborn.
Hey, yes, I need to watch it right now. I actually DVR'd it so I could watch the show tonight.
Oh, was it? Did Heroes Reborn come on tonight?
Yeah, 8:00.
I that was on purpose. They knew it was our 10th anniversary, and they put that stupid crap on. They're always trying to.
Tell Jamie I said thanks.
Jamie, you can't hear Jack. Jack can hear you, but you can't hear Jack. He says thank you for the Chargers license plate.
I was showing it just a minute ago.
No problem.
Showing it on the Vidya at home. For those that know at home, Jamie wasn't a long time listener. He's a Heroes fan. And he just showed up one day to kind of yell at us that we didn't like Heroes as much. And came to one of our Autism Speaks charity podcasts and been friends ever since. But Jamie, how are things going with you in your world?
Oh, not too bad. Just trying to keep the kids straight, Connie straight, which is about impossible, and been heading to a lot of middle school football games at the moment and watching that and going on from there. We're waiting on this rain to come in. That's the only thing that's got me a little concerned right now is getting.
We got a hurricane coming. You're right.
Yeah. So.
The Scorpions.
We do have a hurricane coming here, and well, they're saying it's not going to hit us. It's going to.
Well, it keeps changing.
It does keep changing.
The
so
direction.
Well, from what I hear,
I think it's going to stay off the coast, but with the other stuff that's going on, that's still going to pull a lot of rain in. So,
and it's been
I've
raining
seen
nonstop
reports
before that too. It's just been.
Oh, it's been horrible for the last week and a half.
Yeah, it's just been brutal because I did my toy show last week and it just rained the whole weekend. Setting up, getting in and out was just it was boring. It was horrible.
Yeah, I sent you a message. Speaking of toy shows, we're going to do another pop culture deal on the 23rd.
23rd of October.
Yes.
I might be in town. Maybe.
Yeah, come on down. 85, 49, whatever works.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Anywho,
yeah.
So you're a big Heroes fan. You saw was Bash Lost until you saw it finally.
I didn't necessarily Bash Lost. I had a choice and I took the red pill instead of the blue pill.
Listen, Jamie, I can find some old tapes of you from like 7 years ago. All right. I can do the research, I can find it. You can have revisionist history now, but I remember.
We went back. We watched all of it. I mean, and we enjoyed it. But like I told you back in summer when we was up there for Illyrio and them come by, we watched it so fast that even looking back at it now, it's hard to still, comprehend it all because it was just. I mean, we crammed 4.5 seasons into like 3 months. So, I mean, we were just, vegging on it nonstop, and it was too much.
There, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's sort of the drawback of having the streaming like that is you can overwhelm yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, it's.
Anyway,
we had the opposite of that. Watching it live is just it was on a couple weeks off, and then they went to the whole like 15 in a row, 18 in a row, and then just nothing for 8 months. The more Game of Thrones HBO style,
right?
So there's pros and cons to both sides of it for sure. But I think anybody watching it now is you don't have like a community experience that that people have or had with Lost when it was on, and what made it so special and so great.
I think I did miss. I mean, that's something I think that we both missed when we kind of were trying to watch it. Was having them people that we could say, hey, we just watched this episode now. Help it, try to help, kind of like a dummy's guide to it, or in a way. But so anyway.
Nice. So you're a big Heroes fan. Are you excited or hesitant with the Heroes Reborn?
I watched the premiere was last week, and it was 2 hours, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it's still got a few of the old characters, but they're doing a whole lot of new characters. And one thing they did that this time around was they did the web series type thing. That I think the whole total combines like 30 minutes, but it was like little blurbs, kind of setting up the show coming back. And one of the guys that was on it is actually on the show now, and he's kind of working with HRG, and so he's kind of like a little bit of comic relief on it, but it kind of helped make things make a little bit more sense and all. And but I enjoyed it. I really wanted to go back and watch the premiere again, and then I just ran out of time for tonight. But I enjoyed it last week, and kind of see what happens this week with it.
Awesome. All right, Jamie. Well, we do want to get as many people on as we can before we close up the shop. But we really appreciate you coming on and talking. You're a dear friend, and it's always great to catch up with you. And maybe I'll be out your way in October. We can hang out and
All right.
get some
We did it.
action going on.
Oh, have a good one now.
Much love to Connie and to your tank of a son. I'm sure he is going to plow over everybody in the season of football. He is. Is he like 10 feet taller than every other kid there? He is.
Well, that was last year. This year, he's more in
people
line
catching
with
up?
some of the other kids. Yeah,
Okay.
some of the kids are.
Are the
He's got
scouts
one
out
kid on his
there?
kid on his team that's 6'4" and only 13 years old.
Man,
Holy crap!
it blows my mind.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Blows my mind too.
Uh,
But anyway.
All right. Well, take care, and we'll see you soon. Okay.
All right. Have a good one, Jack.
All right.
Talk to y'all later. Bye.
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 Before we get to the next call, I do want to take a second to talk about Patreon, which is what's launching today. Is free podcast for everybody. All of our podcasts are open. You can get them on iTunes right now, and we hit our first goal today, which is exciting. Actually, the people that put us over were dear friends, Daryl and Fallon Foy, were the people that pushed us over the $500 mark. Who were in front of our line for our first few panels
Yeah.
for Comic-Con.
Well, now they have kids.
They have 2 kids. I understand it's not
Yeah.
as easy, but so thank you for that.
Pretty
We're
sure
very
you named
excited
the
to hit our
first one
first
after
goal.
me, right?
No.
You think it was Jack from Lost, or was it me?
Not
I'm
you.
pretty sure it was me.
Well, they can specify, but so we're very excited to hit our first tier, which is $500, which means we will release a Serenity podcast, closing out our Firefly podcast. So we're going to review.
We have to record that,
movie.
right?
We do have to record that. Yeah, it'll be this month. We have to release it since
All
we
right.
didn't hit the goal in our first month.
All right.
The next goal is $1,000 at $1,000 a month, meaning everybody contributes enough to hit $1,000 a month. We will do a live Married Man show with Dale live, which is awesome. And then $2,000 will release Jack's infamous Survivor tape. $5,000 will do a group trip
to Vegas. Hey, do we bring Taffy? I guess we have to bring Taffy too, huh?
if he pays for himself. I don't made out of money.
I'm just saying.
Now I will say, and there's different ways you can donate. So you can as small as $1 if you want to, and then once you hit $5 a month, you get to join an exclusive Facebook group. So only people that donate $5 or more get to join this Facebook group, which is kind of cool. And then also, if you're $5 or more, you get to have access to an exclusive podcast that we'll do once a month. And that podcast will be fans' choice. So whatever our fans that do the patron that want us to do for that month, they'll vote for it. It'll be on that patrons only Facebook page. And whatever they choose, we'll do. So even if it's something crazy like a Taylor Swift podcast, if that's what you guys want, that's what we'll do.
Taylor Swift in a podcast with us?
But that'll be the listener choice show. And then at $15, you get all of that, and we're going to do a live show like this one. So the fun that we've had tonight, we will do that for $15. I think Jack's taking a $10.22. That will be at the $15 mark. And then at the $50 mark, you will get all of that. You will get a special Jay and Jack package, which will have some cool Jay and Jack swag. And you will also be thanked by name at the end of each show. By the way, everything else, you'll be on a thank you page on our website, jayandjack.com, a newly redesigned jayandjack.com. Thank you, Colleen and Rob and Jacob for the graphics. So that's the $50 mark. At the $100 mark, you get a producer's credit at the end of each show, plus all of that. At $250 a month, you get to join one of our podcasts once a month for a special 15-minute segment, and you'll be an executive producer of the show and all those things. And if you want to sponsor our show, say you have a podcast that you want sponsored or something that you want, a business, whatever it is, and you want it sponsored for $500 a month, you will get ads on all of our shows, and you'll be an official sponsor of Jay and Jack. So check it out. It's at patreon.com/Jay and Jack. It's patreon.com/Jay and Jack, JAYANDJACK, which is pretty exciting, and very excited to hit our first goal the first day. And again, it was a month of build up to that, and thank you for everybody that has put in for that. It's incredible that we were able to do that so soon. And we have all these new feeds on iTunes now. So if you go to iTunes, you can check out all these new shows: Survivor with Jay and Jack, The Amazing Race with Jack and Cindy, The Leftovers with Jay and Jack is starting up again in a couple days, with the premiere of The Leftovers on Sunday. The Ramblecast is back. You can subscribe to that. And then we have the whole enchilada, which has all of our shows. Those are all on iTunes right now, and you can subscribe for them. And you can search for that just by searching Jay and Jack in iTunes, and looking for those feeds. And you also have those feeds available on our websites at jayandjack.com. And since these are all new feeds, it's also great to get your reviews. Reviews is how we actually get ranked in iTunes, or help to get ranked in iTunes. So if you like what we do, please say so in a review. Whew. All right. Enough plugging. Let's get to another call. If someone wants to call us at 919-858-6108. Again, that's 919-858-6108. And if there's multiple calls, if you're on hold, just stay on hold, and we'll call you once we're done with the next call. And we'll try and keep around 2 minutes per call just to give more people a chance, because we already are past the 10 o'clock hour, which is when the show would end. But luckily, Jack has nothing better to do.
Except sleeping.
Wait, yeah. When do you have to go to bed?
Well, I gotta get up. I gotta be at work at 3. So,
well, while we're waiting for the next call, we do have a lot of comments on jayandjack.com and our Facebook page. Let me read through some of them on our jayandjack.com. It's so nice to actually have comments on a blog post again. It's been years. But
I just found the secret page of the bobbleheads.
Oh, you found the secret page of the bobbleheads?
I guess it's not a secret.
Oh,
anymore.
nice.
It's out there.
So Violet1551 said, congratulations, guys. John Farron said, congratulations on 10 years. Hard to believe it's been that long. That's what she said. You guys have kept me sane on my daily commute. Thanks for the laughs. Diane said, great job, Colleen. I agree. Tamara Gladfelter, otherwise known as Aunt Tammy. I didn't know what a podcast was until I started listening to these guys. Always made me feel like
old people
chatting. Of course, just like when you really are, I still don't get the comments. Listening to the last podcast made the show even better. Oh, we got a call coming in. Let's answer and see who it is. Hello and welcome.
Hey, Jay and Jack.
Hello.
I noticed that you didn't mention Three Stupid Guys.
Oh, hello.
Jay's bitter. For what reason Jay's bitter about Three Stupid Guys?
Yeah, this is Matt.
Hey.
Part of Three Stupid Guys. The redheaded stepchild of your podcasting empire there, Jay.
Actually, would that be Nick?
I'm good.
Yeah, technically, Nick's the redhead, so I think he would be the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, I think that's Nick.
Okay. But yes,
I know
welcome.
I'm not.
Welcome, Matt, to the show. Matt, you have our Skype. You could just Skype in if you.
Oh, yeah. I guess I could have just Skyped in, couldn't I? Well, you said to call in, so I thought, hey, I'm calling the number. I'm listening to the guy doing the show with the microphone and the fancy hair, the bobblehead. So, no, congratulations, guys. I mean, I know there's a lot of accolades going around, but I started listening to you guys just taking care of my kids. I was a stay-at-home dad, took care of the kids, and sometimes I was, giving the baby the bottle and listening to the Lost podcast, and Jack would say something or Jay would say something, and I would try to not laugh and wake up a sleeping baby in my arms.
Hold on, Jay would say something.
And this was all during the Lost era, and so it just, I don't know, it kept me going for a long time. So, and never in those early years would I have ever thought I would end up hanging out and talking to Jack for hours on hours about Chargers football and a little bit of Colts.
Not just Chargers.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was actually something you wanted to have happen. I don't know if that's like a.
I'll talk to anyone that'll listen.
No, it's good. I enjoy the sports talk, and and enjoy being kind of part of the team, and glad. I don't know, just it's such a cool community that you guys have created. It's cool that it keeps on rolling, and people meet each other, in Raleigh, and and elsewhere, like I met Dan through your guys' podcast and
Sorry.
hung out,
Sorry
gone.
I apologize. Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, once you meet Dan, you never go back.
You
But
try to move
back
location
to pancake
without
setting.
leaving a boarding address, all right?
No, I'm still on the fence about the waffle pancake debate of what was that, 2010?
I
don't.
You're
I think so.
waffling.
This was years ago. I mean, it's been a while. This
Has it been that
pancake
long?
waffle debate. I don't know, but
There's only one way to go.
that's some good times though on the Jay and Jack Facebook group as well
yes.
as your podcast. So
Oh yes, a lot of good times, and for those listening at home, Matt's part of the Three Stupid Guys. He's one of the Three Stupid Guys for Sports Talk with Three Stupid Guys and The Walking Dead with Three Stupid Guys. Which is that coming back soon? Is that I don't watch Walking
October
Dead.
12th.
So that'll be going on soon as well, right?
October 12th.
yeah, I think it comes back towards the end of October. Usually they started up right around the Halloween kind of period because it's spooky with the zombies. Yeah, it's actually a pretty easy transition from going from NFL football to The Walking Dead. Because sometimes that's
Called
what
Charger football.
So, but no, yeah, we'll cover The Walking Dead. Sometimes we do it a little bit more in depth. Sometimes we just make fun of it. It's one of those shows that it just keeps you coming back, but then you get frustrated with it. You just want to leave it. And then something cool happens, and you're like, "Oh, I guess I'm watching this thing
Much
again."
like podcasting with Jack and I.
Yeah, it's some kind of weird Stockholm syndrome that you have happening there.
Well, Matt's our expert. He's read the comics.
Yes. So Matt,
Well, anyway,
I will just say, and again, I haven't listened to much of The Walking Dead with Three Stupid Guys. I don't watch the show, but Matt is much like Nick is our resident expert for Game of Thrones. Matt is the resident expert for Walking Dead, having read the comics. So
that's all you have to do to be an expert is read the comics.
well, when it's the other
And
people,
look up-
Jack and I, it's like it's not much.
I looked at the pictures.
Take much to be smarter.
Yeah, looking stuff up on Wikipedia that Jack won't look up. Like, oh, here's some trivia for today's show.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I think Nick, because he's actually read books, not the comics are books. I'm not saying that because I'm an artist myself. I think there's just a lot more words with all of that
Generally, there's more words.
J.R.R. Tolkien stuff. So,
Who's
I can't remember his name. But no, yeah, I don't want to keep you. I hope you have more callers.
I'm sure we do. I'm sure we do.
But thanks for taking my call.
Of course, anytime. Like, I feel it'd be pretty bad if we couldn't have on one of the hosts in the Jay and Jack Productions stable come on if they didn't want to.
Well, I can't even talk.
Well, you rounded out most of the stable. The only person that's missing here is Dale, right?
Yeah, and we wanted Dale here, and he's like, "I'm sorry,
I'm on vacation."
What
the hell?
Yeah, you can just
Get
pick
off
up a
my
phone.
lawn.
Yeah, sad.
All right, Matt.
Well, anyway,
take care, and
congrats.
we'll see you next week for the next Sports Talk with Three Super Guys. You at home, you can just like if you're watching this live right now, you can watch Sports Talk with Three Super Guys
10
live.
p.m. Eastern. 10
But
p.m.
next up, we have Danny. Matt, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later.
Cheers.
Bye. Hello, Danny.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going.
That's good. I don't think have I ever talked to you. I think maybe one time before, right? Like in person or like on the call or something like that.
Yes, there was a call. I must be on super delay because I'm watching the video and.
Oh yeah,
this
don't
is,
watch
like,
the video because
totally
it'll probably
off.
be a few minutes behind or something.
Okay, I got the video off now.
You went in the future. You're in the future right now.
I know. I'm feeling like I might need a constant. Who will be my constant?
Your wonderful husband will be your constant.
Yes. So I ended up listening to Jay and Jack after listening to Ryan and Jen and the transmission. And if I could go back 10 years and tell 17-year-old self that I would become friends with all of these people. And I mean, you and Colleen sent me a gift after our wedding. And I feel like we've made such a great community here over the last 10 years.
It is. It's crazy. It is crazy that it's been 10 years. And I remember when you first started dating Andrew and you married him, and it's crazy.
Yes. Yes. We,
I mean, it's not
I
crazy
called
that you
in
got
to-
married. It's just crazy that much has happened. You know what I mean? It's just,
I know, in just 10 years, if you could look back on that, that's so crazy. I mean, you got a wife and a family and
yeah,
the whole nine out of this thing.
a baby.
It's so crazy.
A baby.
Okay.
I got a
so I
grand-
wanna
I got a
make request,
grandson.
though.
What's that?
I would like to make a request.
Okay, what's the request?
I would like to hear the song Lenny, because randomly when I think of the song Jenny and I sing, whatever, it always comes out with the lost numbers, and that song just amuses me.
For me too. I think that's a really good request, and I can actually I can play that for everybody now. I can absolutely do that. But Danny, for those who don't know, Danny, longtime member of our message boards back in the day, early days of our community, and so many great memories and things. The whole karma thing, where you would like share karma and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was.
Colleen's excited. She wants to say something now. Oh wait, hold on. I have your mic turned off. Sorry. Go ahead. Talk again.
So Danny is the one that started the if Colleen gets to 100 karma or whatever points, then she and Jay have to go on a date. So Shauna is the one that called him to Metrobus and was like, "You guys should go out." And Danny is the one that really kind of put it into motion because she's the one that challenged us. Do you remember?
I remember.
So
I
There you
can't
go.
remember that exact detail.
I have
but
Danny to blame. I have Danny to blame for this. Thanks, Danny. No, I'm kidding, Danny. Of course, I love my wife.
Sounded pretty convincing to me.
I love her very much.
You're learning, Jay. You're learning. All those years of the married man show. Training.
Well, I'm getting the bird right now from my wife across the way.
You guys got a bird?
Yes. I got flipped one. Danny, thank you so much. And it's great talking to you. It's great seeing you. And congratulations on your marriage. You looked wonderful, absolutely beautiful. And here's the many years of marriage and happiness and full fulfillment. And we will see you and talk to you later.
I would have said the same
Okay,
thing.
thank you.
And we will go
Don't
into.
forget to play my.
I will play
Don't forget
Lenny
to play
right
my
now.
song.
I'll play
Okay,
it right
thank
now.
you.
All right. Bye.
Play my song.
All right. So this next song, 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, Lenny, was a parody song.
42, Lenny.
The kind of the backstory was it was kind of a joint written project between Ryan Ozawa and Jorge Garcia, and I think it was Jorge's idea to begin with, just to do the song, and actually released Jorge's version of the song on the last time Jorge was on the Lost podcast this past year.
About January, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was January. Whenever the last time he was on, I think he's been on a few times this past year. But so it was his idea, and they worked on this and we wrote it together, and I performed and sang the original one. And so in most cases with these songs, Jack had to be included in some way, shape, or form because it's Jay and Jack.
He didn't have to.
Well, it's part of the fun. People want to hear both of us. But the thing is, Jack just isn't the most.
I have no musical talent. I have no musical talent.
Musically inclined might be the right thing to say. But and then there's never more on Showcase or a good example than this song. And but I think it made the song just your inability to sing on rhythm.
I couldn't do it.
So as Danny requested, I will now play 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, Lenny. Here we go.
You want me to sing?
Lenny, Lenny, who can I turn to? Those bloody numbers have made me go cuckoo. I know you said I had to get far away, that I've opened a box and now I will pay. Lenny, I use your numbers. Lenny, the blow in my mind. Lenny, what are those numbers? 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. Lenny.
15, 16, 23, 4, not too many.
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
4,
Lenny.
8, 16, 23, 42, Lenny.
Lenny, Lenny, I look for Sam Toomey. Just found a one-legged girl in Calgary. I told her about the curse, how things went down the drain. She serves my imagination, then I got on the plane. Lenny, I saw your numbers on that French chick's map too. Lenny, she knew those numbers. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
4, 8, 16, 23, 42, Lenny.
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
4, 8, 16, 23, 42, Lenny.
I got it. They were a lottery match. I want it. Now we need them. Now we need them in the hatch.
I really like my solo.
Lenny, I use your numbers. Dave and Carlton are so cool. Lenny, they made those numbers. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. Lenny.
4, 8, 16, 23, 42, Lenny.
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
4,
Lenny.
8, 16, 23, 42, Lenny.
Nice. I was upset with Jorge. He didn't offer to have me, work with his. I said, "You're doing a remake without me." I mean, I still kind of feel I'm a little bitter about it.
James said in the chat, I think it's called tone deaf, Jack.
Hey, I never claimed to be a singer. I do have 2 original songs, though. So.
Jalen said Banhammer for Mr. Chris.
Go eat some cheese. Go eat some second-rate.
Well, then to your bride, if Jack can't see this, can we make fun of him? And then Kat said, Jay and Jack and now Colleen and Zach, you make me smile so much. My fave was each week there's one thing to do. Thanks for existing.
There's only been one thing to do. Lost and reviewed.
Take it back to last week's episode. Loved you guys from the beginning. Not just the quality of your info and your recaps, and of course your wonderful Lost Recap song stuck in my head, but the relationship between the two of you. Congrats on 10 years.
Thank you.
Scott Eric, who's usually so eloquent and long-worded, said "yo."
That's all he said.
That's all I said.
That's not all he said.
I swear to God, it says "yo." That's what's on there.
We better call 911 because something probably happened.
We have another call coming. Let's see who it is. Hello, welcome to the 10th anniversary Jay and Jack special.
Hey guys, how are y'all doing?
Doing well, doing well. Who do we have the pleasure of speaking to?
This is Ryan. You're vaguely going to remember me. So, story time.
Okay.
Back at Comic-Con, 2009, I think it was. There's somebody you gave a complimentary 4-day Comic-Con ticket to.
I did?
You remember that? Yes, you did. It's because of you guys that I was able to see the final Wasp panel, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Complimentary 4-day ticket. We gave you at Comic-Con 2009.
How'd you get it?
How did I get it? I don't know how I got it.
I don't know. I had days, so I had Comic-Con tickets for the other days, but I didn't have one for Saturday. I even offered to buy it off you, and you just like the day of, you just gave it to me. Go go turn this in, go get one.
Huh. Okay. Well, there you go. I don't remember. I remember your voice, and I think I remember you. Did you? Were you wearing a white button-up shirt with a black tie and glasses?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Photographic memory for you all. But hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Actually, a couple of years ago, hung out with Cliff not too long after he got out here to the West Coast.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
So, I just wanted to thank you guys for creating that memory, and then the Comic-Con afterwards, we all hung out with you guys.
Oh yeah. We Tivoli's. We tore up Tivoli's.
Yeah, I didn't get to hang out with you guys the night that there was the infamous hotel window show, but I hung out with you the night after that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories that happen at Comic-Con and they stay at Comic-Con.
Not for the $6,000 level.
Yeah, that's at the $6,000 level. Then we'll start talking about those stories. But Ryan, it's good to hear from you. And you should come down again sometime. Is it you? I remember you. Did you ever come down again, or come to something? Is that the only time?
No.
I feel like you came down again.
Just, I saw you guys for the 2 years, and then
That's right.
funding ran out for Comic-Con, and then once you're out of the Comic-Con loop, it's kind of hard to get back in it
That's
these
very
days.
true. That's very true.
So one day I'll make it back down there again.
Very good. Very good. Well, it's good to hear from you, sir, and hope to see you again. And it's good to hear your voice. And I don't remember giving you the pass, but I'm glad we did, and that you have a great memory because of it.
Well, you have photographic memory, but you can't.
Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys
I
have
don't remember the
another
pass.
wonderful
I remember hanging out with you, and I remember all of
Yeah.
that. I don't remember the pass though, but I guess we're very generous. We gave him a 4-day pass. He didn't have one for the day of the last panel. I don't remember. I remember he hung out with us in line for the panel. I don't remember. Anywho, glad we could help out.
All right. Well, you guys have a good one.
You too, buddy. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
All right, bye. Look at that though. I can remember. Boom. I had his whole entire picture of his face and everything.
Nice.
But
I can't remember what happened yesterday. Seriously, I don't know.
It's the 10th anniversary. We posted our first show 10 years ago. Do you want to say maybe the first minute or so of our first ever Lost podcast?
No.
Let's go take a trip down memory lane.
Sure, whatever.
Hear how cheesy you sounded.
It couldn't be any worse than that last song.
So
well, my part.
Our first ever Lost podcast was 14 minutes long, 14 minutes and 16 seconds. And actually all this stuff I've been playing today is available on iTunes for purchase for only $9.99. I think a grand total of 2 people bought the album. So you could be the third.
And
they're all on there.
They did call and want their money back.
Yes, I think they did. I think I lost money on the album. But either way, it's all there if you did want to go back and reminisce. Hello and welcome to the Lost Podcast with Jay and Jack. Today is the first episode. My name is Jay, and the next person next to me, his name is Jack. Why don't you say hi, Jack?
Hey, hi, Jack.
What? I didn't mean that in particular, but I guess that's okay. This show is dedicated to the show Lost. And I guess like most of you guys that are listening, we're all pretty addicted to it. Don't you think we're addicted to it, Jack?
I just wish to show it in so I get my life back.
Well, you didn't really have a life to begin with.
That's true. I am married.
Exactly. All right. So a lot of things have happened this season. This is a new season. A lot of new things are coming out. We've had 2 episodes, Man of Science, Man of Faith, and Adrift. And this show, we're going to hopefully try and explain things to you, and hopefully you guys can explain to us. If you want to drop us a line at lostpodcast@gmail.com, that's the way you get a hold of us. Or you can call Jack, but he probably won't answer because he doesn't have a phone. So why don't you tell him why you don't have a phone there, Jack?
I'm addicted to this show Lost. I can't keep a job because I'm thinking about Lost all the time. Every time they come up with I have a theory, they come up with a different theory. I'm just confused. I'm lost. I don't.
Well, I think that is the premise of the show. That's why it's called Lost.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
Maybe, possibly. I don't know why. But anyways, the first episode this season, we had Man of Science.
So a little bit of backstory to the.
No. Can I say something?
Go ahead.
I think we're lucky at the time there were only 3 total Lost podcasts, because I think people hearing that would have said, "All right, I'm done." That's bad. I mean, that's just terrible. It's bad. I mean, but you know,
well, it's
I
humble
really,
beginnings.
well, I really wasn't into it, but that's okay.
Well, so a little bit of backstory to that. So there's a couple of things in there, like where I even call back, like, so why don't you tell them why you didn't like the thing? So I had to stop the recording and like, well, Brian, this is where you could do your thing. And so it was a bit of having to kind of drag it out a little bit. So it was a lot of like trying to set you up for your
like what thing?
Your
What thing?
shtick. Well, because like you wanted to do a thing talking about how much loss like consumed your life. I was like, well, this is a good spot. And then let's stop. Let's go back and let's
All
go
right,
back to it.
But see, that's when I was too rehearsed.
Yeah,
and it was terrible.
Science
I'm
Man
telling
of
you,
Faith, which brought in a lot. It brought the hatch.
Mhm. What's
And it
with your
brought
voice?
Jack's past. But I think everybody wanted to know what the hatch was. Didn't you want to know what the hatch was?
I want to know what was inside the hatch. Yes, I did.
Because didn't you have a theory or something like that? Some
So you're kind of spoon feeding, like, remember you talked about the theory or
some kind of theory about the hatch?
On the hatch?
Yeah. All right, yeah. So why don't you tell us your theory about the hatch there?
And who are you?
My one theory about that.
30s. You thought like a 30s reporter. Hey, and when we're talking about the 30s.
At the time, and I still do, but at the time, I had a very kind of, I didn't like my voice. It wasn't that good.
You had a squeaky voice.
A squeaky voice. I didn't get this nice, more, mellow timbre at it. But I'm still kind of a higher pitched voice person at the time. So that was my attempt to try and not sound so meh. I hated my voice back then.
The hatch is the cable that Saeed found in the first season.
Yeah.
Definitely has to have something to do with the hatch, but I haven't figured it out.
Well,
yet.
is that like his basic cable or something like that?
Basic cable, power source. It has something to do with the hatch, but I've not been able to figure it out yet.
I wonder if he gets like digital cable or something.
Could be.
I mean, enough about the hatch, but the title of the episode is Man of Science and Man of Faith, which I think is the battle, or not battle, but the two sides between Jack, Man of Science, Man of
Definitely.
Faith is.
But I don't think you talked about underwater hatch in this one.
No, I think I figured it. I think I figured out when there was another hatch.
Yeah.
They showed us. What was the next hatch they showed us? And I said, "Oh, that's where the cable's going into the water. It's an underwater hatch." I thought it was a power source, but once I figured out there was more than one hatch, I said there has to be an underwater hatch.
Yeah.
And we asked it at Comic-Con, and then they stole the idea and never gave me credit for it.
I don't think you did. You talked about Dharma and Rose at Comic-Con.
No, you asked about underwater hatch. No, I asked about it. I said, when are we going to find out about the underwater hatch?
Oh,
They said underwater hatch. I go,
I
I
have
go to the
that clip
cable.
here. So from the first time we went to Comic-Con, we asked Damon and Carlton at
I was
Comic-Con.
terrified, by the way. I did not want to do it.
I have the clip, so I'll play it now for you at home. And yes, we were in front of, it was in Ballroom 20, so it was an but it still had like 4,000 people in there. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking.
What's your question going to be? I don't know.
Hi. I'm just curious if next season we're going to finally see the underwater hatch.
The underwater
The
hatch.
underwater hatch.
What is this underwater hatch of which you speak?
We know that cable.
Oh, the cable. Oh, that's interesting.
If they went to the right, maybe swam out and
Wow.
checked it out.
Well, I would not deny that there was an underwater hatch.
Yeah. I wouldn't confirm it, but
Brian, what are your thoughts?
I don't speak English.
Are they acting surprised about the underwater hatch? They have poker face. They got it now.
Thanks a lot, guys.
thank you.
Our pleasure.
So that was Jorge clapping, like the one clap. I just go back and listen to that one clap for a second. So sad.
You're applauding us for being evasive?
What?
You're applauding us for being evasive, Jorge?
No, I knew that question was coming.
He knew the question was
It
coming.
always does.
I have a question. There's a guy I know who thinks something.
He's a liar.
He,
Wait, before you proceed,
Okay.
are you that guy?
no. It's a guy I know,
Okay.
and he
'Cause
thinks
we can talk honestly between each other.
No one's
It's
listening.
not me. I swear. I swear it isn't me. All right. It's a
Do
friend.
you like
of mine.
him, or just like him?
What if I were to say I would give this guy $100,000?
Well, then it was me.
Then would it be you?
But he thinks that Rose and Bernard worked for Dharma. So I want to get the answer right now so I can stick it in this guy's face. Does Rose Bernard work for Dharma?
One moment, please. No.
Take that, guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Go get him.
That's ridiculous.
But
Good
you,
times,
you can
good
you can
times.
clearly see from that they had no idea about Underwater Hatch. They stole the idea from me.
Well, it's you. So that was in 2006. The official Underwater Hatch didn't happen until later.
Yeah, it was like 2009, right?
Yeah, so good like 3
2008.
years.
Yeah, okay. So, and then plus the whole Rose Bernard thing, when they went back in time, spoiler for anyone who hadn't seen it, when they went back in time, that's why they had him retire, because they knew they were on record of saying that no, they did not work for Dharma. But they said they kind of left him out when they said retired. So,
Yes. Yes.
So
There's
it
a kind of an out.
It's never been 100% proven that Rose Bernard didn't work for Dharma. So that's what because I remember when I had got there was an English podcast and they had they showed things and they said that they were going back in time and working for Dharma. I remember I showed it to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be right. No, couldn't give me that. Hours and
You got
hours
the
and
Underwater
hours.
Hatch. I mean, that's like you only need one. You know, you only need one big one. You
I
got
could
the
have had
one big one.
I could have had two. I said Jack's. He had a Christian Shepherd had an illegitimate daughter.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
I thought it was Penny, but it was Claire. That was close.
Going back to the first episode we ever did, which is the 10th anniversary of this episode. So hold on.
Hello and welcome to the. What else is new there?
But Sawyer did say, let me die.
I want to get to the first.
But also another thing, they were on that raft and we saw a shark. Now,
is that you?
Bullet was able to chase them away.
I mean, that leads us in the show next the whole government to everything too.
No, it was the tattoo on the shark. That's why.
But
That's why
Jack has a certain theory about this and how maybe.
I think Lenny and his friend were in the hatch before Desmond.
Yeah.
And that's how they went crazy.
And then I think that connects the whole government to everything too, possibly.
It could be.
I mean, you don't really know. And it basically states once again, Lost leaves us I mean, we don't know what's going on. We're lost in this show, and we're lost in the show we're taping right now because we don't know what's going on. But this leads us to the momentous occasion of the week, the crackpot theory of the week by Jack, because he thinks he's the best. Well, I think this show will best him, but we're gonna go to his theory, and let me do a little drum roll here.
Theory that comes true, by the way.
On the last episode of last season, when Locke is sitting on the plane, he looks up at Jack as Jack's boarding the plane, like he knows him. But Jack gives him this kind of like charity hello look, and Locke has this look like, okay, he doesn't recognize me. I think at one point, we're going to find out that Locke was Jack's patient. That's what I think.
It's a possibility, but I think that's a little far fetched, don't you think?
Well, Jack's busy man, has waits on a lot of people, and in fact, one of my theories at one point that there was no Sarah, that it was Locke that he was operating on, and not Sarah, and this whole flashback of him being married has no relevance. It's Locke. He's just blocked it out. Because Locke has always acted like he's known Jack. That's a terrible theory.
But then again, Locke is pretty,
Did the flash sideways?
He is all powerful. That's true.
Well, I guess that's why we call it the crackpot theory of the week. And for you guys listening to the show, this is the first show, and we need your help too to make this show even better. Just send us in your emails. I mean, Jack, why don't you tell them about that?
Yes, your help would be greatly appreciated. We're at lostpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that's lostpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, so for those of you who have your theories, your comments, anything, just go ahead and drop us a line, and we'll be glad to put it on the show. This show is about for you, the fans, to learn the theories, so maybe stuff you missed on the show. So
the more dorks, the merrier.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I like it. Now, so that's our show for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Perplexing Media Productions, and it's copyright 2005 by Perplexing.
The heck was
Media.
that?
So
I
thank
forgot
you,
about that.
and hope you enjoyed the show. Bye.
Goodbye.
But Locke was a patient of Jack's.
Right in the Flash Sideways, right?
Yep. So, there you go. I'm not saying they kept stealing stuff from me. Not that I should be getting royalties or anything like that, but
yeah, it's fun to go back. Perplexity Media. So something I've always been just trying to make things, and Perplexity Media was like my conglomerate company that I had back then.
It was a booming business.
It was it started the Lost Podcast.
It did. I forgot you had that perplexing
Media, because it was going to be, because when I was made a band and I want to have my own record label, it was going to be Perplexing Records.
Yeah, it's nice. That's nice.
I was only 20.
Lost
so young.
podcast at gmail.com.
He's like, Gmail.
Lost podcast at gmail. Because I didn't know. I think you just gave me the right
well,
there.
I was just like, hey, read this.
Lost podcast at gmail.com.
It's almost like in Serial. You still haven't listened to Serial, have you? But they have.
I have it for breakfast.
They had an ad in it where they talk about male chimp, and everybody's trying to say it, but they don't really say it well. So it's a famous ad now because they're making a TV show.
That's what I heard.
They're making a TV show about us. So I mean, it's ripe.
Yeah.
This stuff is ripe for a TV show.
Could be should have been we should have been a reality show back then.
Early days of podcasting. Let's take a couple more calls and then we'll kind of call it a night. We're coming up on hour 3 here. If there's anybody else that does want to call in, and we'll close out with Jack and I's favorite memory in the past 10 years. So Jack, think about your favorite memory.
I'll let you go first.
I'll go first, but you just think about yours. We'll close out with that. But
from the
podcast out
podcasting
there,
or
the 10 years of podcasting. Anything that we've done within that time. But anybody wants to call, you can at 919-858-6108. Once again, 919-858-6108. While we do that, I'll read some more. Let me actually go to I think we have some comments on Facebook as well. And I'll load it up while I still go through some of the posts on our website at janejack.com. Let's see.
Your voice is much better than it was in the beginning.
Yes, it's gotten better. It's definitely gotten better.
It's more natural.
Well, I've gotten just better at doing it, I guess. You spend enough time doing things. Got a lot of comments on the Facebook of the post I made of the note from the first things. Sarah Mims, Chip and Sarah, they do their own podcast. You might have heard of it. They do one on the Americans, which you can check out on iTunes. And Chip does a fantastic beer podcast, Tales from the Cask. It's a very good show. Annie Tipton says, that's an amazing keepsake. It is, to the picture that I have of the first notes we ever took. Wendy, you guys had the best podcast. Always look forward to it. Happy anniversary. Eric Skoll, great relic. The Notepad, great podcast, and congrats on the anniversary. Eric Skoll, a legend in his own right, and we got him on the show. We want to do a podcast with him. James Cook, I bet you kept that. Bet that kept you up at night. The Lost Theories, that is. Good joke. Is on the Viagra pad.
I was like, what? It takes me a while. I'm older.
2 days later, the greatest thing ever happened to me. Cooper Sterling was born. John Sterling. 2 days after we started our thing.
Really?
As a young father, I needed guidance on role models for father and son relationships, and I was blessed to find your podcast. Thank you so much. That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Connor says, thanks for the show. Matt Trice has a good one. Borrow that notepad from Warm Taffy. There's a lot of taffy jokes with this Viagra notepad. Chad says, thanks, guys. Listen to every episode. Enjoyed every second of it. Thank you.
Well, the only problem with the pages would be sticky, wouldn't they? If they're taffies.
Not going there. Still kind of PG.
No, I'm just saying if you have ever ate taffy, saltwater taffy, it gets kind of sticky.
There you go.
I don't know where your mind's going. Jeez.
Jess says thanks for the memories, hours of entertainment, and friendships. Rhonda says, wow, that's TV History Museum worthy. Nah, keeping that one. They gave it after I'm dead. Just so many great comments from everybody. So many great times. So many great times. Oh, man. It's 10 years. 10 years.
It's amazing.
Podcasting. I feel like there should be like some kind of award we get for 10 years. We have a podcast award.
Take that, Nerdist.
I mean, we got a bobblehead, so I guess
The
that's our
bobblehead is
10-year
cool.
award. We do have a podcast award. It's on the other side of that studio over there.
I'll show them.
Jack's getting it right now. Yes, we have won a podcast, so we can say we're award-winning podcasters. We have that going for us. When like they do the trailers,
My Duke hockey
like,
puck I stole from a game I did. Get my headphones.
You all right over there?
Yep. Here's the 2007 Best in Entertainment Podcast Award.
Look at that.
Take
She's
that.
dirty.
Take that, everybody. We went against. Oh, you're supposed to be. You're supposed to say.
Be gracious.
I like to, just being this company.
Hold on. This is actually, I think, your chance because you couldn't fly out to California. I flew out to California to receive the award.
We couldn't afford to send both of us.
Yes, and so I had to accept the award for both of us.
And
So
you were
this,
drunk.
I may have been drunk. I don't know, but this is your chance to accept the award for the 2007 Best in Entertainment Podcast.
Geez, I didn't write anything down. This is such. I could be like John Hamm.
What did he do?
He kind of got emotional and
did he?
first he rolled up on stage. He went to the stage and kind of leaped and kind of rolled up there. No, really, seriously, it was probably it was just so cool to get this award. I mean, it kind of validated what we were doing, and I appreciate it. 8 years later.
There you go. See,
And it's the one thing I don't let Jay have. I keep it. Am I right?
it's supposed to be a timeshare, but whatever. It makes you happy. You can have it over there.
Because I like to go, oh, there's the award. I would let you get the best produced podcast.
Thank you.
And to be fair, and I've said this before, you should have won the best produced podcast. All the work you put into putting it and staying up there for hours would take what, 8 days to upload stuff like that, and then sometimes it would cut out. People are, where's the podcast at? Where's the podcast at? And I go, Jay would go, oh, the thing crashed. Stupid internet. Things like that would happen, and you had to go back and do things. I mean, if people only knew what you had to do to put the show up, I think you should have. They should go back and give you the award.
I appreciate that. I really do.
I'm serious.
It was the olden times of the internet and uploads. Even though upload speeds are still woefully behind, back then it was even worse.
Because you would do that and then go to school.
Yeah, I would. Well, I would be done usually 4 a.m., 3 to 4 a.m. Sometimes 5 a.m. if it was something went wrong.
Right.
But yeah, and then I would go to sleep and then go to school the next day.
Yep.
Oh, we got a call, or we did have a call.
Crazy.
They hang up. But yeah, so I would go in. We would watch the show, which aired at 9:00 usually.
9:00, yeah. One time one year was on.
It
10
was pushed back to 10.
10 on Thursday, which was terrible for me because I had to go to work on Friday mornings. I was like, ugh.
So it would air from 9 to 10, and then usually we give ourselves an hour to look at our notes, fix anything up. Do we need to go back and watch a scene? Generally, we didn't have time to, so we really had to take all our notes.
Well, our notes were always separate.
We did, yeah.
Because the one time I left my notes out, you stole my joke.
So we did that for an hour. That also gave people enough time to call in, so the calls would pile up in the after the episode. So then I download those, and then we'd start recording. We'd usually record for about an hour and a half. So if we start recording, usually we start recording around 11:30, and then we usually record about an hour and a half. So that takes us about 12:30 to 1. Then I would go in and put in the pictures. So I would go and find pictures. That would be usually about 1 to 2, and then 2. Then I would export. Exporting would take a while back then with the older computers. So export usually took 30 minutes, not a little bit longer. So be done with that around 2:30. And we got a call. We'll finish the story after. This is a very entertaining story.
There's a caller there.
Hello, welcome to the 10th anniversary special.
How's it going?
It's going well. Who do we have the pleasure of speaking to?
This is Ed from sunny California.
Well, hello, Ed.
And I'm usually a 3 sports guy. I've been listening to you guys for about 6-7 years now.
Awesome.
So I was going to share my worst memory.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect.
Gotta have that one.
Well,
No,
what do you got for us? What's your worst memory?
Years ago, you guys did that last show for Lost. You know, that was in LA and stuff, Hollywood.
Yes.
And I actually had tickets. And then everything fell through. I had to give them away at the last second.
No
so
way.
I missed it. So I always hear you guys talk about that. And I think, son of a, you know what? It's like, I missed it. And of course, you know, now I'm somewhat part of the community, I guess. You guys talk about message boards. And I guess I'm kind of like your dad's age. I'm like Jack's age. So I mostly agree with Jack on, you know, a lot of stuff. Like when he talks about the old days and stuff like that. I totally get him. I love his stories. I love when Cindy's on there. I love when Colin's on there.
You just hate when I'm
It's
on
like
there.
you guys,
I get it.
you guys like, you know, it's basically like it's kind of weird when my friends are like, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm going to go home and hang out on a podcast. Because, you know, you guys, it's like a family away from home, so to speak. So
it is
someday I'm going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina, and surprise.
Nice.
Nice. I'll say, where's that lost guy? That lost guy. Are you the lost guy?
Are you that last guy? Want to talk lost?
So now the plan is, you guys always talk about like are you guys going to do like a Hawaii lost? You know, I always hear like those on the 24-hour podcast, like some lost Hawaii reunion type of thing.
You know, we
Is
did
that
Hawaii
happening?
for the premiere of the last season. We did it. It was amazing.
2010.
Yeah. So, but not, every once in a while, don't you guys talk about going there again?
Yeah, and we do need to go back because we have dear friends, Ryan and Jen are over there.
Plus, it's Hawaii.
Plus, it's Hawaii. But it's hopefully we can again. It's just so expensive. So expensive.
I guess that's at the $20,000 mark.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there you go.
We can afford another trip because like luckily we were able to go because we had an amazing sponsor in Global Cash Card. They're not paying us now, so I'm not going to say anything. No, I'm kidding. But
yeah, whatever.
They were great to us.
They were amazing, and really without their financial backing, without like it, the idea for the finale show came from us, and to do all that stuff came from us. But really, the scale of that thing wouldn't even come close without the backing and support of Global Cash Card through that, and Michael Purcell, and believing in us as a podcast to do it. So I'm sorry you missed it, but you know, it's kind of like saying, okay, it's not that grandiose, but it's almost like people are like, oh, I had tickets to Woodstock, but I didn't go. It's not that crazy, but it's similar, I guess, if you could put it towards something.
I had tickets.
Because I guess a lot of it would have been, you know, we got to meet you guys, and you know, so basically it's still over the phone, listening to the podcast, and, you know, being on the Facebook page.
You're in San Diego, right?
I'm actually close to San Jose, so that's even funny when Dale talks about San Jose, and you know, when you're the San Jose Sharks fan and stuff like that.
Well, I'm in. I work for the old Bagel Google. So I'm usually that way every now and then. So maybe get a beer sometime or something.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because I think last time you said you were here, and I'm like, son of a gun, he's like right down the road. So yeah, anytime.
Absolutely.
You know, and then Jack, I guess what, he can't hear me or what? Or
He can't
talk?
hear you. You can't hear him.
My favorite thing with Ed.
Yeah. So yeah, so
he wants to say something.
I'm
Go ahead.
probably I'm probably like a long lost brother. I'm not Chinese like he is, but I'm probably a long lost brother of Jack, because a lot of the stuff he says I agree with. All of us are Padre fans, Charger fans, so it's kind of funny. But
My favorite Ed story.
Like I enjoy you guys. Congratulations. Hope it's 10 more years, I guess. And
awesome.
Hopefully before then I'll run into you guys and tell Colleen she's a doll, and congratulations on your little kiddo. Watch them grow up right in front of us. So
yeah, he's an awesome kid. Very lucky guy.
And congrats, and I'll see you guys on the Facebook page. Keep up the great work.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good one, Ed.
All right, take care. See ya. Bye.
My favorite Ed stuff is him and Sporting Becky would go at it on Talk Show in the chat room. So you'd be sitting there trying to record, and they're just going, going at each other. All right, kids, I don't want to pull this car over. But then it would go into Twitter, and it was good times. But now we don't do Talk Show, so that was the joy of Talk Show. He did say last week, because he was listening when our internet crapped out on you over there.
Yes.
And he said, let's go back to Talk Show or something like that. Because nobody ever says that, but
no, nobody ever does.
So,
if we don't have any other callers, I think it's kind of maybe time to wrap up this 10th anniversary special. I said I would kick off the favorite or most memorable moments in the 10 years of the show.
How do you just come up with one?
Why don't we do top 3 then?
It's funny though. You were saying about he was talking about going to Hawaii. Remember the year before we were going to go to Hawaii.
Yes,
you and I, and we're going to do Sunset on the Beach. We're trying to find the cheapest hotel room possible.
Yep.
And they had the writers. We had tickets. We bought plane tickets to go out there, and then they had the writers' strike.
Yep.
So they canceled it. And
actually that was before. That was like the 4th season because they didn't do another Sunset on the Beach for a couple of years.
That's what it was. Because when we lost money, we didn't get our money back on the ticket, right?
No, I think we
lost money to transfer it. I got some money back, but I lost like $200 because transferring the ticket, whatever it was.
Yeah. So we'll do top 3 favorite moments from the show. So we'll go interchange. I'll go one, then you go one. And okay. So my 3rd favorite moments of the show has to be Jorge calling for the first time, because it was just one of those surreal moments. And I think it was like our 6th or 7th episode that he called on just to leave listener feedback. And at the time, I used to work mornings at the camp, which was above where you worked on Friday mornings. Mm-hmm. And I remember I would go through the calls, and I remember downloading that call and hearing it, and it's just like, hey, it's Jorge. Just want to let you know, some of us are listening to the show, something.
Well,
I had J.J. Abrams.
I wrote that because J.J. Abrams was a good friend of mine.
Yeah. He kind of called you out on the joke.
Yeah, I was kind of lying.
And I remember how excited I was, and I like ran down and told you, and then you came up, and it's just one of those moments where just like at that moment, the show kind of crossed that threshold of something bigger than this little thing that we were doing just for fun. So that's my 3rd.
That's a really good one. But I think my 3rd one's going to be the Christmas show we did the first year.
Oh yeah,
because that's the one I think that we hit our stride. It became more of what we do now, where we weren't really thinking about what we were saying. We just kind of did what we did. We weren't worried about people criticizing us. I think more me than you, but I think we just cut loose, and all the guests we had on there were just amazing. And it's one of my favorite podcasts. I would go back, and I haven't listened to it in a while because I don't have my iPod anymore. But I used to go back and listen to it like once a year just because it was so much fun to listen to it. Because Scott and Steve were on there, and Ryan and Jen, everybody that came, and then we just kind of goofed around. And I thought from that point on, I said, okay, that's that's how I approached the podcast. That's how I came and just said, okay, I don't care. At first, I was timid because I didn't want people. I knew I was worried about people criticizing. Now I'm to the point now I don't care. Yeah. I mean, if someone wants to send me an email and say, hey, I didn't like what you're doing, but on iTunes review, you can't do anything about it. I always tell people, I go, don't worry about it. Just do what you have to do. But that was, I think, the first time that we cut loose, and it really started to be something more than me going, okay, and you having to pull things out of me. And you with your voice, you kind of cut loose too. It didn't have your fake, whatever that voice was.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. My 2nd, I could go with a lot of ones here. I could go with like the easy ones, like Sunset on the Beach. That's an easy one. But I think with my 2nd, and it's kind of a combined, but Comic-Con, the first one, where we kind of had that big group meeting, and just that was kind of the first time that we kind of started building our extended family in a way, like of friends.
Right.
Ralph and I hung out a lot at Comic-Con because he's the one that kind of convinced us to come out.
Yeah, he
there.
did. Was.
And we met him the trip before because we went to San Diego not like a month before as a family, and he took us to or got us into Disneyland as a family.
Right.
But he convinced us to go to Comic-Con, and we met, our listeners for the first time, a lot of them in person for the first time at 2006 Comic-Con. We also met Jorge for the first time at that Comic-Con.
Yes, we had to keep it a secret.
We did.
Kept it a secret the whole time. I was like, oh my God, we're going out with Jorge.
Yeah.
But we didn't. We were calm.
It's just one of those, just really like, to me, it was kind of like the start of building our bigger family. And, we have our charity podcast every year, and getting to see everybody and going to Comic-Con every year after that. It's having that kind of chance to break bread and hang out with everybody. It's really special. And that was the first time we kind of had that.
I know. I was about the Jorge thing. It still cracks me up because the first thing he said, because we didn't have any recording equipment. He goes, so no recording equipment? You're not going to take advantage of this? I go, I think I said, I thought we were just having dinner. But he was so cool and it was so good.
Yeah.
My second one's going to be just all the times we've gotten together with everybody and just.
Way to steal mine.
No, I had it down. But I just, not just the famous people, but everybody.
Yeah.
It's everybody. It has been fun. And you go like Comic-Con and all this different stuff, getting to see people, having the guy come up to me when I'm wearing he's wearing a Jay and Jack shirt. And I go, hey, nice shirt. He goes, yeah, it's some podcast I listen to. Walk away. That will always be funny to me because it's just, but then people waiting in line.
It's a humbling experience.
Yeah. People waiting in line though, to see our podcast. And then you
Yeah.
see people in there like Patrick Labaton, and I'm like going, well, why is he here? He's probably here by mistake. It's just everybody, and it's such a good. I say this all the time. The Lost community is the best community I've ever been around. Just best group of people, and like we sat in that one line we sat in the last time where we got there. I think Jim Watari saved my spot. And I got there like 1 a.m. You guys came like an hour later, and nobody's on any sleep, and we're all having a good time. We met Ed Hockley, just everybody there, and we made fun of Chris White, which was outstanding. It's just those times you'll never get them back. I mean, you'll never always remember those times. So
yeah, absolutely. Good one. That's a good one. Okay. Number one, it's hard for it not to be number one. Sorry, Ed, but the finale party that we did is an amazing experience.
Because everything went off without a hitch. And I was stressed.
And to put something on like that, like something at that scale, and renting out a legendary theater in downtown LA and having it sell out nearly 3,000 people and
people wrapped around the building,
and just everything that happened, and to get a Dharma van, just so much stuff.
And that van was cool.
And everybody that was involved with it, Joe Opinionated and Global Cash Card. And Colleen, as always, is just that backbone support to help people get all those tickets, all that stuff sorted out.
Oh yeah.
And just us and somehow, like to your point, somehow it was just this perfect.
Because we wanted to do the East Coast feed because we didn't want anyone to get spoiled, and they wouldn't let us do it.
Yeah.
Remember that? And I was like,
oh yeah,
God,
there's so much.
That. There was so much. What if the feed doesn't work? What if something happens? What if something cuts out? I go, we're dead. We're dead in the water.
Because everybody's trying to have this joint experience together to watch this episode on this big screen.
And we would have like weekly meetings with Michael and his staff, and we're in here, and it's just going round and round and round, trying to iron everything out, and then them getting Michael Emerson, and that was a hassle because he was on Kimmel.
That was come or go too. Like, could we get Michael Emerson there? And we had to send a limo to get him from Kimmel to take him to. That came straight from Kimmel to.
And he was just amazing, just an amazing person. And anyway, it was just a great time. I mean, you're right.
Yep.
But I think I'll say my number one. I have like 2 number ones. The one was the when we were at Sunset of the Beach, the party we got to go to.
Oh yeah,
because it's just amazing. Because I hadn't eaten all day. we toured with we
were so drunk.
We toured all day long, and and we
we
came
were out and about all day because Beth took us around.
Beth took us on every different. It was she took her time and just took us to all the different shooting locations and stuff like that. And we got back. We were sitting in traffic, so I still hadn't eaten. And then they started. Was it Mai Tais they were giving us?
Yeah.
And I was
Mai Tais.
I was so drunk, and I'm trying to be cool talking to these people, and we finally get to meet Carlton and Damon.
Damon and Carlton, yeah.
And I can barely remember anything happened because I was so drunk. I'm just like going. All I remember is like, oh, so you do a podcast about a show about daddy issues and your father and son. I go, yeah. And Jeff Faraday there, and he's drinking. He's sitting. He's telling about the $10,000 toilet.
Jeff Fahey.
Fahey, and you almost got him killed later on. It was just amazing mingle, but trying to act sober when I was just.
And we had our good friend. We met our good friend Etor, who became a really good friend.
Oh, I still follow him on Facebook. He
took us. He was like kind of our guide through everything.
And everyone was so happy to see us except one person.
Yeah.
And it just was a great time.
It's just everybody was so nice. Everybody's so nice.
Well, 99% of them were so nice. And it's just, so happy. But I think my most favorite thing of podcasting is when you and I get together and we just start breaking up laughing. That would happen a few times in the podcast, but everyone's probably thinking, what are they laughing at? But we would think it's so funny. And we just laugh.
Laugh to tears.
Our family would hear us, what are they laughing about? Those were probably the best times. That's my number one, because I look forward to it. And so it was like, get their podcast. Can't wait to podcast. And anyway, that's probably my number one. Other than,
of course, you went with the schmaltzy, making everybody tear up at home. Thanks.
Except for the bobblehead. Which I really, seriously, this is the coolest thing.
Because it looks a lot like you. Mine, I think I have too much of a chin. Like, I don't have that good of a chin in person, but it still looks good. It looks like me.
You kind of look like the guy what's the guy that just broke up with the girl? He's a country singer.
Oh, what's his name? Blake Shelton.
But you look a little like Blake Shelton.
Yeah. But it's amazing. It's an amazing, amazing thing. Thank you, everybody. But I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I was shocked when I opened it up.
I feel like Dwight from The Office when he got his bobblehead.
You're a lot like Dwight.
But yeah, it's the coolest thing. Thank you, Colleen, and everybody that put that
Everyone
together.
else that chipped in. Fantastic.
But very cool. And it's time to get to thank yous. I think one, thank you to my wife, who I met because of this podcast in a lot of ways, but always there.
I thought that'd be your number. I thought that'd be your number one thing.
But that's not like a memory of the podcast.
Okay,
that's like a personal. Like meeting Colleen is personal for me. It's not like
good
podcast led us there, but that's a
good
us
save.
thing.
Good save. Good save.
But I have to thank her just because you hope that your wife can be that backbone support and get you through the tough times, and she's always been that for me. Good times, bad times. I know
you've had your
without a
share.
doubt. Though we had our share, I know that she's always got my back, and that makes you invincible in a lot of ways, or make you feel like no matter what happens, at least you got somebody. And then the other thank yous, my own mother,
for putting up with us.
She
used to love to watch Lost with us until we got really because she watched it. She powered through it with us too. Remember?
Yeah, she did. She loved it too.
And then we started. She goes.
We kind of took that from her.
Well, we wouldn't let her speak. You can't. We'd stop you can't talk.
Yeah.
What? I go. We have to catch everything. So she would go watch it in another room.
But she's very supportive, and I mean, even just in life, always very supportive, and almost like just like any mother, almost too supportive at times. But again,
She reminds me of Bev Goldberg.
Yes. But I think I always felt like I could do all these things just because she always had that support. So thank you for that, her for that. And then, I mean, thank you to all the listeners. Thank you to everybody that's ever contributed to anything we've ever done. We've had so many people that have volunteered time and taken time to make things happen for us.
To the people that used to be the moderators on that board, where they had to, they put up with, and people that called, people that emailed.
The Banhammer.
Banhammer.
Just so many friends, so many people that I consider dear friends and family through this podcast. You know who you are. There's no way I can say it's everybody's name, so I won't. But thank you to all of you. wouldn't be possible without you. And most importantly, my podcaster in crime, my father, Action Jackson, started this. I only want to do a podcast to get you out there because you've always been the person that's like, I could have done that, or that was my idea. So my goal was to do something to where you couldn't use that as an excuse anymore.
I still say that though all the time. You know, that was my idea.
along the way, trying to do that. Not only are you my dad, but my dearest best friend too through all of that. So,
well, thank you. I always said this podcast is it's like it gave us something in common. Well, we had some things in common.
Yeah.
But this is obviously cemented the deal, and yeah. Like I said, it's probably one of the things I really look forward to doing is podcasting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it probably without you. Like your mom goes, well, just find someone else. I go, you can't just go out and find someone else. Not that we don't have good times with other people podcasts, but there's just some kind of we click. Aside from that first one, except for that first one, I only did that because you made me do it, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it, and I think we did it.
You don't realize that you're actually a very shy person.
I used
to be.
Because that first time I had to get up and ask that question, literally, and the first time we had our panel, your uncle was like, "Get up there." I go, "I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." But now it's like, I don't care. I'm gonna say something stupid. I don't care.
But cool. Anything else you want to say before we close this out, Action Jackson?
Thanks for everyone listening and putting up with us. And it's been, I can't believe it's been 10 years. It just seems like yesterday. We're up at Cool Ventures and yeah, whatever.
All right. Well, that'll do it for our 10th anniversary. Can't believe it's been 10 years. Here's to 10 more. And to close us out, what do you want to play? I got everything. I think Next on Lost. Should we do Next on Lost?
The TV show?
Yeah, Next on Lost. Or I got Super Kate, Dharma Peanut Butter.
I think you got to go Super Kate.
Super Kate?
Super Kate.
All right, let's do Super Kate. And then we'll sign off.
All right.
For our 10th anniversary. But here we go. Super Kate. Right, you wrote this.
She's a very mysterious girl, the kind who really scares her mama, and she'll never say what she did, how she blew up her father. That girl is going crazy. Girls are super cute. As in crazy like saying horses. She can climb up trees. On a remote jungle island. Or climb out of bear cages. That are controlled by a guy named Tim. Yes, she's super Kate. Cause she's super Kate. Super Kate. She's super Katie. Yeah, she's super Kate. Super Kate. She's super Katie. Ow. Now there's two guys on the island, Jack and Sawyer. Which one will she pick? She doesn't know. She doesn't know. That girl doesn't know who to pick. Yeah. Yeah, she's super Kate. Super Kate. She's super Katie. Yow. Yes, she's super Kate, super Kate.
All right, guys, that'll do it.
I did want to say, though, every time you had an idea for a song, you kind of just run up to your room and kind of lock the door, and you just kind of, and you hear you'd hear your guitar going and different things. And I go, what's he doing? And I wouldn't hear most of the songs until you aired them.
That's true.
I heard them. Well, obviously I heard them first because we recorded, but that was always funny when you got an idea for a song and then we'd go up there. It'd be cool if you came up with another idea for a song. It's been what, 8 years since you came up with a song?
It's been a while.
Anyway, I'm trying not to put any pressure on you, but
So again, thank you for everybody. This has been a great 10 years, and here's the 10 years more. Check us out on iTunes right now. A whole lot of new shows, a whole lot of new content's coming out, even though we've been around a while. We're ancient in internet years. A whole lot of stuff out there. Again, all this is made possible by your contributions on Patreon at patreon.com/JayandJack, or just go to patreon.com, search Jay and Jack, find it there. We've hit our $500 goal. Next is $1,000, so let's make it happen. And that's it, I think.
I think that's it. You've covered
Everybody
it all.
that's stayed around, stuck around, called in, thank you so much. It's been a great time, and we'll see you next time.
Everyone on the East Coast, be safe this weekend, all right?
It's true. Watch out for that hurricane.
It's coming in.
I went and bought 5 jugs of water, big things of water, during my lunch break, so I'm prepared.
Well, what you're supposed to do is fill up your bathtub.
Yeah.
And leave the water in there.
Yep.
That's what I did the last time one came through, and nothing happened. But you always got to be prepared.
All right, guys. Until next time, hasta luego and goodbye.
Bye.